And we're live. This is Julien Jean-Pierre from the Royal St. Lucian Seamoss Company, and I think I have us set up tonight to watch the video. Trying a new way of streaming. Hold on one. Trying to do a new way of streaming, and kind of check and see if people can see me all right. Oh yeah. So give me a few minutes, guys, to just get my system kind of all situated and set up properly so that I can show you guys some of the research that I've been doing or I've done over the past 3 years that I have been doing St. Lucian Seamoss Company. Um, okay, let's get into it. Um, Actually, first, let me go to the chat here and put in a link. I want to make sure that anybody that wants to join me live, because I'm running out of restream here, and I can do a live. You guys can join me live. Oh, it's not linking on YouTube for some reason. You can see that link, or just send me a message, and I'll try to invite you on this. And I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get a drink first, and then we'll I'll launch in the videos, the different research material that I have on CMOS and why I can prove that it's not possible for CMOS to get minerals from a rock. Yeah. I'm back. I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. Did not mean to um, disappear like that. Let me make sure I'm streaming my platforms before I start talking. You can see the link below here. If you're able to copy and paste that, um, then you can join in on the conversation with me. Just check and see if anybody has any comments. Hey, guys. All right. So I think it's about time I start sharing my screen. Looks good. Everything looks pretty cool. Okay, so This is one of the links. So first, I'm gonna start in my sort of discussion. I'm gonna be talking about. I'm going to start from the basics, right? This is a simple, basic article. It's written by a man named Matthew from a company called Detox and Cure. What's up, Seamoss Avenue? What's up, bro? Good to see you. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. I think you got to put your mic on or something. Maybe you're muted. Um, yeah, I can't hear you. I don't know if it's your phone or what the is, but maybe you'll figure it out. In the meantime, I'm gonna go and talk about this article. You can Google it. It's called "Uncovering the Wildcrafted Myth," and it goes into the story of basically um, it. How do you put it? It goes in and discusses everything that Dr. Sabi had been talking about in a lot of the videos that he has, you know. And I recommend this is a great basis to start reading and understanding some of the differences or the debates or even why there is this stuff, right? Um, so, it starts with the topic I've been wrestling with for years now, the true story behind Wildcraft. It's Seamoss, how to share with you what I learned while not damaging the perception of those of you and I look up to, particularly in Seamoss, is a tough gig. So yeah, it is try, I mean, you want to find the truth, but you don't want to, shame or discredit anybody, and I get that, you know. The truth is that figuring out what it takes to grow sea moss isn't as straightforward as you may expect. It's taken a lot of people a long time and a lot of money to get this right. I would like to state this no way intend to defame anyone, simply to highlight that even the people you and I look up to sometimes get their facts wrong. And it is on to us to do our own research for our own health and well being too. We also need to acknowledge that science never sleeps. Ergo, things as we know keep on changing, and two has an impact. And that's true. Stuff that we learn today could be changed tomorrow. And so it is on us to do our own research. Right. So the potential being behind on current research and fact finding is something that any person who takes the platform risks. Quite often, celebrities like individuals are frequently so time poor that they don't have the capacity to build their own resources, which I acknowledge is a very big task. As I'm close to the space, I've seen behind the curtain a number of cases that I've learned that the speaker doesn't always do the work themselves. I had firsthand experiences where I've seen the underbelly of what it takes to create the content for a 3-day boot camp covering a range of topics. All too often, gig workers are hired to create the content for seminars, often not knowing this is the final intention, which are charged at thousands of dollars per person. And the content is a little more than as simple as copy and paste plagiarism executed against a host of other online resources. So, you got to read more. It just kind of basically says that, a lot of times the information that people are putting out there is not always the information that is, that person writes out to themselves. Trying to link in, hit me as me. Fuck. Yeah, I don't know. I don't have you muted. You know what I mean? If you want to try and come back, we'll say that. Okay, so continuing on. So in this, he does the main point of reference about Ponderus Crispus and everything. And as you can see, if you look at the transcript, this question is asked by a member of the audience about finding real Seamoss. Ah, Seamoss is scientifically known. Here we go. It's Condor's Christmas. In this particular archive video, you see a sample held up at 4 minutes in which a thin yellow twig-like sample, which what we probably know as sea moss or iron moss today. Condor's Crispus doesn't look like this. There is a screenshot of this further in the article. Sea moss comes from an ocean. It locks onto a rock, and from that rock, it receives its nutrients. No, seaweed, as algae, absorbs its nutrients from the water around them, as they don't have complex root structures like their terrestrial counterparts. This is covered by the Point Eyes National Seashore Association and the lesson plan for students and teachers on how algae grows created by Barrio Mera. So he cites these two links. I open them up so we can show them later. How can this be possible? A plant hold onto a rock? Yes. This is a factual statement. Seaweed does hold onto rocks. This is what's known as a holdfast, which serves back as an anchor, not a root system like in land-based terrestrial plants. Scientists have yet to understand how could a plant hold onto rock and then give you food. No. Consider a snippet I would like to share with you from Sciencing explains that seaweed is able to grow and therefore give you food as a result of cellular activity that takes place on every part of the algae where it absorbs what it needs from the water around it to grow. So basically, he's saying there that seaweed, sea moss, which is the seaweed, uses it gets its food from cellular activity, and it takes place on the algae where it absorbs and needs to. So it says, well, you know what it is? They, the scientists, invented a word. This is the word. He flips the word on a chart and then counts the number of letters on in the word, starting at the end of the word, working to the beginning of the word. A 15-letter word. They, the science, call it Ianthropus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but I'm going to copy and paste it. And I'm going to put Google in it to understand what that word what is. I'm going to take you along, I guess, the whole walking journey as we do all this science research. Okay. Now, I'd like to encourage you to take a moment to look up the word in the dictionary, encyclopedia, on a search engine. You might find that Google attempts to correct your search and serve you results for Ianthropus, which is not part of a process of plant or algae, but we tend to call it a plant in our articles for sake of reliability, extracting nutrients from a rock. So, let me find that when I search for. Yeah, it's like that word doesn't even exist from watching. This process of using electric to target specific areas in the body, treating excessive sweating. Child had to do that procedure. She sweat a lot, so we wouldn't pay $2,000 to get it. So that plant has the ability to convert a solid oxide substance into a liquid digestion substance. It's called Seamoss. No, in all the time I've been around CMOS, I've never found substantiated proof that CMOS is capable of doing this. As an algae, it is more commonly cultivated than harvested via wildcrafting. In fact, there are virtually no wildcrafted operations left for this species of seaweed, owing to the commercial demand and the prosperity for the algae to be sustainably farmed. Every plant does that, but CMOS has iodines, bromides, it has all the minerals, phosphorus, which is good for the thyroid gland, which is good for the immune system. One of the more common species of seaweed that is cultivated in Cameroon is also found in South India, Korea, and three other parts of the world. Has two dominant iodines, one being anthracite iodine, which has indicated it may be very effective in the inhibition of against the activity, which is good news for sufferers of low body dementia, Parkinson's disease, and Alzheimer's. The other iodine you'll typically find is chicken. That's based on the similar properties. The most common form of iodine you'll find in seaweed is potassium iodine. You also find iodine that the benefit that a healthy intake of iodine has on bodily functions is something we're more widely aware of when it comes to thyroid function. Bromides are plentiful as they are found both in the soil and the sea. They're estimated to be some 1,500 bromine containing organ compounds that are naturally occurring in marine plants and algae alone. The word of all other minerals is very expensive. I've yet to find a complete analysis completed on CMOS that shows all of the minerals. Therefore, in my opinion, that we popularly believe that this is true at this point in time. One of the more inclusive studies covering a handful of minerals assessed can be found here. Phosphorus is a key element to help seaweed grow. Without it, the process of photosynthesis is more than challenging for the algae, sometimes called the microalgae. The practice of cultivating seaweed in open ocean waters and semi-sheltered beaches has proven to yield not only better crop outputs but also more complete mineral enrichment development in the seaweed. In fact, it's not uncommon for certain seaweed to be lacking the minerals we're looking for when they're in a juvenile state. This is where the selection of sustainable mature algae is much better, if anything, when looking at the discussion around wildcasted versus sustainably harvested. I think that it's important to note that what is commonly referred to as pool grown is completely different to sustainably harvested or sustainably cultivated. Seaweed that is grown in the ocean through sustainable means is grown in places that will yield a much better product compared to anything grown in a pool. The locations are typically chosen or engineered to ensure that the waves aren't so rough that the seaweed is battered and ripped apart. When it comes to pools, these aren't typically set up as exclusively for the purpose of growing seaweed. Pool systems will generally use seaweed as part of the mechanism for maintaining the health of the water as they are in the business of farming fish, not seaweed. That's true. Many of these farm operations where they're growing the sea moss in a tank or whatever, they're not really using the sea moss to harvest it as a product, but more as a way as like fish food or cover for the fish and stuff, or to contain the proper biodiversity of the water for the fish. Um, could be where wild crafted versus full grown seamless got its legs. This, the seaweed may
may end up being a byproduct of their operations. And typically, this is not what you this is what you want to avoid if you can even find it on the market. A lot of times, the visible quality of the CMOS is so poor that it is used for the manufacture of fertilizer more than anything else in the operation can clean. Yeah. So I think you can go more into this and read the article. Um, this is just the beginning, right, of where, no, this is just one source of information. And so I think you have to um, do that. This is interesting. He says how to spot fake CMOS. The formation of salt crystals gives it a big way. You can see the difference there in the naturally occurring salt versus what he says is table salt. So I'm actually gonna. Whew, good. It's been a long day. I'm gonna share this on the group. Yeah, I'll put the links in the chat right now. So, okay. So here's another one. Minerals from microalgae origin. Health benefit and risk. Right. Some of the stuff I haven't read, so I just want to go through it. And this is like a huge article. I'll put the link in here now. You guys can follow along. But let's see here. So marine microalgae are currently pointed as the plant origin foods from the future, earning already the status of superfoods, which is a marketed term for the recognition of their supposed health benefits as a consequence of their superior nutritional profile and richness in bioactive phytochemicals. They are very low in fat, although they contain high percentages of mono and polyunsaturated fatty acids and are very rich in carbohydrates, mainly dietary fibers, proteins containing all the essential amino acids, and vitamins including A, C, E, and those of the complex B, which are usually absent in land vegetables. Additionally, the value of edible seaweeds in human nutrition is also based on their richness in several minerals like sodium, magnesium, phosphorus, potassium, iodine, iron, zinc. Because these organisms have strong bioassertive and bioaccumulative capabilities, the mineral contents may be 10 to 100 times greater than that of land vegetables. In fact, the ash content of certain seaweeds may reach up to 40% on a dry weight basis, while only 20% dry weight have been reported for spinach, which is considered to have an exceptional mineral content. Most algae display higher um, what is sodium and K values than those reported in vegetables, but usually low Na forward slash K ratios, which is an important aspect for food or for good maintenance of cardiovascular health, since low NAK ratios are well known to promote the decreasement of blood pressure. High NA levels, however, may be regarded as one of the weaknesses of seaweed's consumption, considering that in many developing and developed countries, the intake of this element is already above the recommended daily allowances. Furthermore, calcium and phosphorus, the two major minerals in the human body, alongside with magnesium, are abundant elements in algae as well, present in concentrations that surpass those of apples, oranges, carrots, and potatoes. This is particularly important considering that currently, we are witnessing a quick escalation of plant-based dietary movements and lifestyles that limit or exclude the consumption of meat, eggs, dairy products, which are major sources of such minerals. In addition, seaweeds, especially species from the Phaeocele, which accumulate exceptional levels of iodine, which is well known to be an essential element for the maintenance of thyroid function and health. Considering that iodine deficiency is a reality at least 11 European countries, and most of the remaining countries are using iodized salts to control the problem, the introduction of seaweeds in population eating habits could be a vital alternative to ensure the intake of optimal daily requirement of iodine. Nevertheless, the consumption of such seaweeds must have some since the daily intake of more than 600 UG of iodine for it ultimately act in the opposite direction, causing poisoning effects. So, kind of like what they're saying is that this has a lot of good nutrients, a lot of like amino acids, a lot of proteins, a lot of fiber and stuff like that. But you do have to be somewhat careful about taking this in the regards to maintaining healthy levels of iodine, right? So, gotta be careful with that. And here's a little bad thing here. On the other hand, seaweeds may also accumulate toxic metals, arsenic, cadmium, copper, mercury, lead, in varying degrees that might represent up to 200 to 500 times those of land plants. This fact is one important aspect to have in mind considering seaweed consumption, since it could represent a potential health risk. Values of toxic metal in the majority of edible microalgae are, however, usually below the maximum concentrations allowed for human consumption in most countries. Moreover, one must note that the negative effect of toxic metals depends on their physical state. For example, as is much more toxic in its inorganic than its organic form, the latter being the predominantly found in seaweeds. Hence, even though seaweeds might have high levels of um, AS, which is arsenic, it does not necessarily mean their consumption will cause poisoning effects. Nevertheless, there is currently no legislation in European Union addressing the limits of toxic elements in edible seaweeds. An exception is made for France, which is the only European country that has already defined limits of potentially toxic compounds in seaweeds to be used for human consumption. Even though these are only recommended from the Food Safety Authority and are not legally binding. Cool. So that just goes a little bit about the Seamoss, and you know, let's move on because you could really sit here and talk about it for a long time. Even talk about applications as a food ingredient in this article. Um, the bioaccessibility and the bioavailability, worries related to microalgae consumption. Yeah, definitely take some time and read this. So here it talks about the food that's required, seaweed nutrient physiology, the application of concepts to aquaculture and bioremediation. So it says inorganic compound, or sorry, inorganic carbon, light, and nutrients are required for seaweed photosynthesis and growth, and interactivity regulates rates of seaweed production. Nitrogen is the element most frequently observed to limit growth, although in some cases phosphorus may be limiting. Moreover, because inorganic carbon in seawater occurs primarily at the bicarbonate, the inability of some species to use the HCO3 as a CI source may lead to carbon limitation, especially along tidal, subtidal, and tidal pool species. This review will focus on nitrogen nutrition of seaweeds and will also consider phosphorus and carbon physiology, which may interactively affect nitrogen uptake and assimilation, and consequently seaweed photosynthesis and growth. This review is not intended to be a comprehensive, but to build on the earlier reviews of Hudson and Hurd. Um, I guess they did an article about Seamoss. Maybe that yeah, that yeah, nutrients of physiology, application concepts, medical. Anyway, here we outline fundamental concepts of natural nutrient sources to seaweed, the mechanisms by which seaweeds take up and assimilate the nutrients, and the utility of kinetic curves and understanding mechanisms and rates of nutrient uptake. Next, we discuss how nutrient uptake and growth are regulated by the biotic and biotech factors using both classical and contemporary literature examples. The context is that seaweed growth can be enhanced by providing optimal environmental factors such as light, water motion, and nutrient supply. I want you guys to carefully notice that in none of these articles that I'm reading do they ever discuss the minerals availability of the rocks or the importance of requiring the CMOS to be on rocks in order to grow, because it's not, and that's, you don't get the nutrients from the rock. Okay, it's from the dissolved water, nutrients in the water, mainly the phosphorus and nitrogen, which they use photosynthesis to convert it, into fibers and proteins. So here we are on the so schematic A, environmental phrase regulating uptake of nutrients by seaweeds, integrated carbon, phosphorus, and nitrogen sources available in seawater for seaweeds, including the organic form of nitrogen. Urea ammonium is naturally available in seawater at relatively low concentration, when levels can be enhanced via excretion from marine animals, including IMTA, salmon. Um, for seaweeds to take up nutrients, they must first cross the diffusion boundary layer and cell wall. Within the DLB, products released via photosynthesis, respiration, and nutrient uptake may accumulate. Once they've crossed the cell wall, nutrients are taken into the cell via active transport and/or facilitated transport and/or passive diffusion around across the cell membrane. Within the cell, nutrients may be stored in various pools or are assimilated. The example given is for nitrate uptake and assimilation. Nitrate may be stored in an inorganic pool or converted to ammonium via the enzymes NR and nitrate or reductase. Unlike nitrate, aluminum storage is limited in seaweeds and is rapidly converted to amino acids via glutamine synthesized. and glutamate synthesis. So a lot of the nutrients comes from the fish and stuff in the area on top of that. Who's here? Don't join me on the research. Hello. I can't hear you. I think you have to. Are you talking? No, maybe not. Okay, I'll go back to the. I guess message me or ping me somehow so I know when you're talking because I don't know. Lately, people joining in as guests, they can't. I can't. I'm not able to hear them. So here's a diagram showing the schematic of how the seaweeds get their food and where it comes from, and the light, the temperature, the water movement, the salinity. It's pretty straightforward stuff, you know. And this fundamental understanding the sources of nutrient, nitrous, phosphorus, carbon available to seaweeds, and the seaweed's nutrient requirements for optimal growth is essential to enhance the growth conditions in any production system. When a seaweed's demand for a nutrient is greater than its supply, the nutrient becomes limiting. That is, limits growth. States the nutrients. In natural systems, nitrogen is the nutrient most commonly limits seed growth, with phosphorus being the second most commonly nutrient. Nitrogen is available in the inorganic forms nitrate and ammonium, and the organic form urea. Nitrate-based growth is determined new production because NO3 is externally expelled, for example, from the below. Seawater nutrients have different seasonal cycles depending on the geographic location, and it is important to have baseline data to understand when a particular nutrient might be becoming limiting for seamoss growth. That's interesting. That depending on the area, you might have, limiting. You might have limiting nutrients. Let me put some of these links. I just realized I didn't put them in all the chat rooms, so just gonna post them now because I think it's important for people to read up on this stuff and check it out. Seaweed. Here's one. It says, what is seaweed? Seaweed is a plant. What is seaweed and is seaweed a plant? To be exact, seaweed is a type of multicellular algae, and true algae like seaweed belong to the kingdom Protistia, not the kingdom Plantae. Algae are simple plant-like organisms that are believed to be ancestors of modern day plants, lacking vascular tissues like xylem and phloem. Plant-like algae do not have true root stems, or leaves. There are two types of algae, microalgae and macroalgae. Small microalgae are also known as phytoplankton, and large macroalgae are called seaweeds. Like true plants, both phytoplankton and seaweed contain chlorophyll and are photosynthetic. The structure of seaweed. There are thousands of species of seaweed, including varieties that live in the ocean, rivers, and lakes. The microscopic varieties of algae called phytoplankton float around suspended in the water where they live. Seaweed, on the other hand, attaches itself to the floor of the ocean or rocks along the shores and rivers and lakes. Because seaweed does not have true roots, it attaches itself with structures called holdfasts, according to Britannia Kids. Unlike roots, holdfasts do not take in nutrients. They simply anchor the seaweed to a solid structure. Instead, seaweed absorbs nutrients through blades, which are leaf-like structures, notes the marine diaries. Seaweed also does not grow stems like land plants. The blades of seaweed emerge from what is called a stripe or stipe, which is similar to a stem. A frond is a group of blades that extend from one stripe. Some seaweeds grow air blades or air bladders on their blades or stripes that help them float in the water, according to the Marine Seaweed Council. Seaweed is divided into three main groups. It's actually four, but let's not go there. Um, or not seaweed, sorry, algae is into four. I guess seaweed could be into three. Seaweed is divided into three main groups by color: green, red, and brown. Green seed is the least common. Sea lettuce is one type of green seaweed that grows in the ocean, and its name comes from the fact that it's eaten by um, humans in salads and soups. There are more than 4,000 species of red seaweeds, including Irish moss, Connor's crispus, and some types that grow in coral reefs. Each type of seaweed has its own habitat, and many red seaweeds grow in places where they can attach themselves to other organisms. Brown seaweeds grow in colder waters, and there are about 1,500 species in this group. Giant kelp is one form of brown seaweed, often growing in towering groups. Kelp form dense clusters in shallow waters, creating communities that are like underground forests. Giant kelp can grow over 33 meters long, and scientists have recorded 10 to 12 inches of growth a day in giant kelp that live in Monterey Bay off the coast of California. So seaweeds play an important in our world. The importance of seaweed. So it says, besides being an important food source, the parts of the world seaweed also contains anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, cancer-fighting compounds that are used for medical purposes, according to the National Ocean Service. Seaweeds have been used for thousands of years for their health-promoting properties. Excuse me. Seaweeds also play an important role in underwater ecosystems. They provide food and shelter for fish and other marine animals like sea urchins and crustaceans living at the base of the food chain. They support many other live forms in aquatic communities. Just like other photosensitive organisms, seaweeds produce oxygen as a byproduct of photosynthesis. It is estimated algae produces 30 to 50% of the Earth's oxygen, which sustains humans and other species that live on land and the sea. As it captures carbon, seaweed also helps to reduce the acidity of the ocean. Seaweeds reduce population by absorbing excess nutrients and toxins like organic chemicals and heavy metals from the water. They soak up micronutrients and oxygen from clean water, making them an excellent fertilizer for farms. Seaweeds are used in human foods, medicines, cosmetics, as well as animal feeds. Nowhere do they talk about rocks. Okay? Nowhere. So I'm not going to go into this one here because it's so much information. But I'll put it in the chat here. Here's another site that is of good importance. It's called Algae Base. Ooh. This is where you can find all different like species of algae. So let's look even with chondrus. There's all these different 173 matches. Usually they'll have a picture. This is a photo. Chondrus reports. Look at this photo. Oh shit. It's been a long day. I just realized I'm reading and I fell asleep. Okay, so let's continue. I apologize. What is this next? What time is it? It's like 9:30. I think I'll do a couple more links of this and I'll call it a night. There sure is more people to talk to. You know what? I'm gonna pull up Instagram. Let's see if anybody wants to chat on me. See what people are saying on Instagram. And we're live. This is Julien Jean-Pierre from the Royal St. Lucian Seamoss Company. I've been chilling on the live stream for a bit, talking about Seamoss, and so figured I would let me move the logo. Yeah, I just was talking on stream, sharing documents that I have on Seamoss and why I know you can't get nutrients from the rock. Let me just take off my logo here. And so yeah, I was kind of like not getting bored, but like no one was joining me on Facebook, and so I was almost starting to fall asleep, and I was like, okay, shit, let me switch platforms here and see if anybody wants to come in and chat. It's a lot easier for people to come in and ask questions on Instagram than it is on Facebook for some reason. Yeah, Definitely, Tammy. I would get Yusuf to come on here and have a chat. But anyone too. And I mean, this all started really because someone told me that I don't have the proof that Seamoss can't get nutrients from the rock, and I'm just like thinking, like, are you kidding me? I have tons of proof. I have like mountains of proof. I have like more proof than I know what to do with, than you could shake a stick at. I could talk. I've talked like almost like just look at my past live streams. I've talked 7 hours of talking about CMOS, showing the proof of why it's not possible. Like, one only needs to do the research to see that CMOS is an algae, and then you know it can't get nutrients from the rock. It's just it doesn't have the sign. It doesn't have the capacity. It is just like it's impossible, like really impossible, and no one can explain how it works. Do you know what I mean? If it does, like get nutrients from the water, where how does that work? How is that possible? You know, like that's crazy. So I don't know what to say. I could go on and on and on and on, and so I figured, okay, let me do a live stream and show the proof. You know what I mean? And I mean, the market is huge. Like, I'm looking at this one company, and they are farming Capsaicin avarez, and they're fermenting it, and then they're turning it into a powder, and they're using it as a food for pets. And it gets crazy. You know what I mean? Like, why aren't we forming large companies like this to create products like that? You know what I mean? We're all stuck on whether or not it's growing on a rock. You know what I mean? It's like we're so distracted. It's crazy. So here's another one. By the botanical ocean, seaweeds and their ecology from the marine diaries. I'm gonna put that here. Just want to switch my camera for a second so I can just share with you guys when I'm looking at it. So what is a seaweed? A seaweed is an algae, and algae are split into two groups, microalgae and macroalgae. All algae contain chlorophyll, the green pigment that land plants also have. Chlorophyll uses sunlight to make food for plants in a process called photosynthesis. Unlike land plants, seaweeds lack true stems, roots, leaves, and vascular tissues that conduct water, sap, and nutrients. Instead of roots, seaweeds attach their fibrous structures to the sea bottom or other solid structures using root like holdfasts. However, these holdfasts do not extract nutrients as the roots of plants do. Seaweed absorbs their nutrients from the water column via their blades, the seaweed's leaves. With all these yummy nutrients, seaweeds can grow and reproduce to form dense aggregations such as underwater kelp forests, free-floating Gulf weed mats, and like Sagassum, and a wide variety of species you'll find along the UK rocky shore as toothfrag. Tooth. There are many types of seaweed. You may realize from your trips to the seaside that the seaweeds come in different colors: red, brown, and green. Um, Green tend to be found mostly on the top of the shore, for example, sea lettuce. Brown algae include kelp and rax, are commonly found in colder zones and are absent from tropical water. Red algae include chlorine algae, lava, and iris moss, which carpet the lower half of the rocky shore, which is exposed at low tide along the coast of the Atlantic. Each species is adapted specifically to where they are found and the conditions they are subject to, but all seaweeds are found at depths of 50 meters or less. Since seaweeds get their food through the process of photosynthesis, which uses energy from the sunlight to convert carbon dioxide into organic molecules and produces the byproduct oxygen. Algae produces an estimated 30 to 50% of the net global oxygen available to humans and other terrestrial life. Although they're not as complex as plants, they play the same role in the ecosystem as primary producers. They are the base. They are at the base of the food chain and the existence of nearly all marine life: whales, seals, fish, turtles, shrimps, lobster, clams, octopuses, worms, etc. that depend on seaweeds and phytoplankton. It is estimated that 2 to 10% of the global primary production is a result of seaweeds, which may not sound like a lot, but it's pretty impressive when seaweeds habitats such a small area. Oh well, researchers have made a seaweed-derived material to help boost the performance of semiconductors, lithium-ion batteries, and fuel cells. Testing showed that the seaweed-derived material had considerably more of a power output than the capacity of traditional graphite anodes for lithium-ion batteries. This, for example, could help double the range of electronic cars using completely carbon-free material. Awesome. Let's, let's go on to another topic. This is interesting, although I'm not going to really read it too much right now. I think I'll post it for those who want to read it in the chat. It was called the environmental risks associated with the development of Seamoss farming in Europe, prioritizing key knowledge gaps. Yeah, because it doesn't really go into, it just goes into the, the talk of farming. Says the blades of seaweeds absorb the nutrients necessary for growth and development, using them for metabolism and photosynthesis. The iron is an important nutrient as it plays an essential role in chlorophyll production, which is critical for photosynthesis in phototropic organisms such as seaweeds. Cool. So it's talking about can dissolve iron from industry promote seaweed growth. So if they add iron to the water, will that make the Seamoss grow faster? There we have it. And so, I mean, I don't know. There's all the information. What more do I need to show? You know what I mean? It's pretty, self-explanatory. Follow those links, and you will see for yourself. You know. Another one is from an organization called the Caribbean Natural Resources Institute, and they put a guideline series on Seamoss and the cultivation of Seamoss. And they have, I think it's on page 4 of their book, called The Biology of Seaweeds. And so I'm going to share that page with the group here. And I'm going to, I guess, skip most of the top of the page and go to the second paragraph. I'm going to read from the second paragraph. Yes, the Caribbean National Institute, the biology of seaweeds. This is something that a lot of people miss in their research on finding seaweeds and sea mosses. So let's go to the paragraph 2 here. It says most of the world's commercial seaweed species are reds or browns. Only reds are used in the Caribbean. Like all seaweeds, they have no true roots, leaves, or flowers. Plants consist of branched fronds attached by a holdfast to a substrate such as rock or dead coral. The holdfast anchors the seaweed but does not absorb nutrients like the roots of flowering plants. The entire seaweed plant absorbs nutrients that are dissolved in the surrounding water. This is an important feature in farming seaweeds, as cuttings from plants can be anchored to any substrate, such as ropes or nets, as long as the water conditions are suitable. Seamoss has a complex life history which includes both sexual and asexual phases. There is an alternation of generations from identical looking male and female plants which produce gametes for sexual reproduction to other identical looking generations which produce spores. In addition to the free living plants which grow mixed in wild populations, there is a small parasitic phase that develops in the female plant. This phase can be seen in the reproductive female plants as small bumps on the branches. Spores are released into the water and drift until they become in contact with a surface that is suitable for them to attach and germinate. The settlement and germination of spores is the means by which the species spread and colonize new substrates. The most common substrates for forest settlement are rocks, stones, dead corals, and shells, but some species can be found growing on almost anything, such as discarded cloth, plastic tires, rope, bricks, and wood. Okay? You do not need to grow sea moss on a rock. And not one of these articles that I've read, or repeated, or reviewed, or whatever showed you really speaks to anything about the importance of having a rock involved, except for the anchor, you know? And so we really need to get away from this idea that, like, just because it's grown on a rock makes it that you have no proof. Like, please, like, this is really bad overall for the industry because we're confusing people. We're confusing ourselves, you know, and it's not necessary. It's like completely unnecessary. Hey, what's up, Maria? How you doing? I hope all is well. What's up? Oh, I know it's B City something Seamoss. I forget. Oh, crazy. Seamoss is going crazy now. You know, there's a lot of demand for the Seamoss. That's for sure. You know, I've watched our business do quite a bit. Like a lot of sales have grown in the last couple weeks. Like it's pretty crazy. You know, was not expecting it at all. Thanks, man. I'm glad you enjoyed the info and stuff. You know, I love sharing it and everything. So it's been pretty cool. I got to do a course soon or something where I go in depth on marketing and like Google Analytics and stuff. I've been thinking I got to do some kind of like mastermind group. I talk about this all the time, but you know, for the for those real serious hardcore people that want to up their game and want to invest in the CMOS, you know what I mean? I want to really start focusing on working with people that are looking to do like 100 pounds or more per month in sales, you know, and really sort of help them build up their, you know, their knowledge and their experience so that they can sell more products. I spend, oh, wow. You know, you buy a chip, you like poke my gum in like a really bad way. I don't even think I should be eating them. Well, yeah, there's a lot of studies that I've been doing on Google Analytics and Google like audiences and keywords and stuff like that. And I've really watched it sort of help scale up my sales where I'm like doing maybe twice to three times more sales than I was before, you know, I started the advertising. So yeah, I'm slowly just kind of learning the stuff, figuring it out, and I'm going to really start scaling it in the next few weeks. I think I just I'm ready to scale. The thing is, I know, like I guess I'm ready to scale in my heart, but what I need to do is get my packaging like straight. I need to get my boxes straight. I need to get my supply straight. So I think by next weekend I'll have all that done, and it'll be something where you know once I have everything done and I have all the orders, I can scale it and just put like you know what I mean. I can just start pumping out those orders because I'm not even scaling it now, and I'm already like about over 100 orders behind. You know what I mean? And some of it's because you know we're waiting on supply on this, or waiting you know replacement on that. And so I don't want to scale it and like invest all this money into marketing to get the people to the site to only find out that you know I'm having trouble getting orders processed because it's so low, and then people start complaining, and then that hurts sales. So gotta avoid doing all that, you know, for sure. Give me a second. I'm gonna go and grab some water. Hey, let me know if any of you guys want to join in on the chat, and we can talk a bit. Thinking I might get a juicer soon. I'm gonna have more juice in the house. Drinking that juicy juice. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time learning Google audiences and just the marketing and stuff like that. AdWord, like I gotta get back onto Facebook. I haven't been advertising on Facebook. I wonder how Facebook like is like which is better, Facebook advertising with it, or is it like Google AdWords? You know, that way is that better? Like which would be the best method? Fucking some farmers online. Everybody's going to bed early because they're getting up to plant. Because for those that haven't noticed, Seamoss, we're going through, at least with St. Lucia, we're kind of going through a little bit of a drought, I would say. It is definitely more difficult to get Seamoss than it was before. Like compared to, say, the beginning of the year. Oh, yeah. And the price has gone up significantly. So now the price is probably about doubled in the last 3 months, the local price, which, is kind of a good thing. I'm happy for it. I'm no complaints from me. Um, it's something that I've been sort of warning people about what's going to happen, and I don't think people understood this. And this is where I was kind of saying to people all the time, like, look, you need to step up your game. You need to um, understand how to market this product properly, right? One of the biggest sort of strategies that people try to do when they come to sell CMOS is that they just try to beat everybody on price. Okay, um, I get that. In a lot of ways, if you're not experienced with business, right? If you're not experienced with selling, it's it's natural for you to kind of have this sort of, you know, I guess what was the word we call it? Like you would just default to say, oh, the cheapest price. But the reality is with the CMOS market, and if you took time to study the CMOS market, you'd understand that the cheapest price is not always like people don't always care about price. They care more about reliability and quality, authenticity. And so they understand that, you know, they might have to pay a little more for a better quality product. So, one, when you go and you try to advertise your product as being the lowest price, unless you back it with a strong reputation of who you are, people are gonna like go, oh, like I mean, I know I would. It'd be like, well, why does this seem so cheap? What's wrong with it? You know what I mean? Compared to a guy who's got the highest price and all his marketing and attitude kind of says, I don't care. If you buy the CMOS, you buy the CMOS. If you don't, you don't. Compared to someone who's like, oh, please buy my CMOS. It's the cheapest. No, you don't want to have that. So, that's one aspect about it, like why you don't want to be sort of like the cheapest. And then two, like you're leaving yourself vulnerable for price fluctuations, like what's happening now. The price is fluctuated, right? What do we do? Like it's gone up. There's people out here that were basing their price, like trying to get CMOS to sell for like say $6 and trying to make money and selling it for 15. Well, when the local price now went from $6 to $12 US, you know, you're not making that much money selling 15. Whereas had you been trying to sell the product for like say $30 or $40 a pound, I mean, you'd have more room, you know what I mean, to sort of negotiate or to absorb these price fluctuations. You know? And so I feel sorry for those that that have been trying to sell their CMOS for under $20 a pound. You know what I mean? You just you're in for a rude awakening because you won't be able to get that CMOS for that price, at least not from St. Lucia. And I think what's happening now is St. Lucians are becoming wise and they're realizing, okay, shit, you know, um, they don't want to they don't want there to be a repeat of what happened in the last couple of years where the price dropped so much. So I'm pretty positive that those that are still in the CMOS, at least in St. Lucia, as the price goes up, it might come down a little, but I don't see it coming down um, anything significant. So these cheap prices that we used to have, they're gone. What I run into is that there are so many variables in selling price on the U.S. side. I pay so many fees that I didn't really understand until. Uh-huh. That is another thing too. And here's the thing, like when you are dealing direct with someone, like when you're, I guess, dealing direct with the CMOS farmer, it doesn't make sense you going that route unless you're buying like minimum 100 pounds. But really, you should be buying like 500 pounds, 1,000 pounds when you're dealing direct with some of these guys, these farmer guys, because it's just it's not worth it for you, and it's not worth it for them. You know what I mean? By the time you add in all the costs and the fees and stuff like that, because there's a cost like to pick it up, there's a brokerage fee, there's I think when we get a shipment, just us picking it up alone is an extra $500 or $600 just to pick it up. Just customs clearance and renting the truck and doing that, and then you have to add the shipper and stuff. And if you're buying directly from a lot of these CMOS farmers, then what I mean, you're gonna pay their local fees, which is with hacks and stuff like that. So that shit adds up. I know one girl, she told me that by the time she got some free CMOS on a special, and she said by the time she paid for it to ship and she received it and everything, it was more expensive than the CMOS that she would buy off me and I would deliver to her house. You know? And so, and you're not always assured of the quality that you're getting, especially when you're trying to get the cheapest price. It's hard to satisfy someone at the lowest price compared to someone that's willing to pay whatever price you ask for. You know, even now, like there's some people that just they've had to how do you say it? They had to get out of the business because they just can't supply the CMOS because the price has gone up so much. And so they can't. I'm getting calls every day, all the time. People are asking me, if I can supply them, you know, with CMOS monthly. Like it's funny. Had they called me like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, we could have worked something out. You know what I mean? And even by now, we would have made sure that like we're working to increase supply now so that we can sell more. But like, we would have been ahead of the game had they let us know. Or, you know, hey, what's up? I can't seem to hear you. I don't know if that's a mute on your end or not. Are you talking? Can I hear you? I think he's gone. No, he's gone. Hmm. Maybe you can. You guys might even want to try talking to me on Instagram. Should have got the TikTok out here too. Whatever. That would have been nice. Click on the link in the comments and add audio before joining. I don't know why this restream is so, it usually works pretty well, but I think it has something to do, like, if you try to join it on your phone, it's like different than if you join um, as a regular user. Invite some of you guys to talk. I'm excited to kind of get back into the game and start scaling up and stuff. And really been taking a look at Google Google audiences and learning that that's really sort of like helped up my sales and stuff. As especially with the Google Analytics, if you run your Shopify site, you have to get the Google Analytics connected to your Shopify site so that you can see like what sales you have. Like I can see like the last 7 days what I've sold and like a dollar amount and revenue. You know what I mean? Where it's like I've sold like in the last 30 days I've sold 104 1 pounds of gold. I've sold 68 pounds of purple single pounds, 60 50 54 single pounds of full spectrum, and then what? Excuse me. I've done 44 items of 10 pounds of super dry gold Seamoss, so that's 450 pounds. I've done 36 packages of 2 ounces gold, 34 items of 5 pounds. So that's 5 times 34. That's what, like 170 pounds of gold Seamoss. So the 170 pounds, that's like 250 pounds, 300 pounds of gold Seamoss in 1 month or so. That's crazy. And sometimes you don't realize like how much you've sold and that you sold that much. You know, pretty interesting stuff. I think one day I will click on the link and I'll talk to today. Just got done training 40. Yeah, I can imagine training 35 people. My throat has been really itchy. I think it's partly the allergy. So I'm scratching my throat. Yeah, those are for the last 28 days. And then I think if you can compare that to like the previous 28 days, well, you know what? I'll even do it like the last 7 days compared to the previous 7 days. So this is even like some of it's like a 40% increase. Um, the super dry gold sea moss 10 pounds. I did a 500% increase week from this week to the week before. I think a lot of it has to do with um, my interaction with this new piece of software that I think is like the illest. Um, Actually, maybe I'll do this little video now and I'll send it to them and be like, okay, you know, you know, I want a free, month or whatever because I'm going to like do a little bit of a demo on audience. And let me see if I can switch this camera so that you guys can see me on the audience. If that works. No, that won't work. That's my boy, Seamoss Avenue. What's up, bro?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yeah, much better, much better.
Damn, somebody would call me. I'm calling back. Yeah, what's going on, man? Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties earlier.
Yeah.
But yeah, you definitely speaking some good stuff on the rocks and everything.
Thanks, man.
That's good because yeah, you can't really get no nutrients off the rock. Like you said, everything is coming from out the water and everything. And you just think about it, like it makes sense. Like you know what I mean? 1+1, like.
Yeah.
Rocks is how much can you really get out of a rock? So it's like, sometimes you just gotta use your head with this stuff,
For sure, for sure.
But some people I already know they get crazy, man. My grandpa,
Bro, it's like that's how this whole thing started today because and then bro, it just irks me. I don't mean it, but imagine you're in this industry. I've been doing this for 3 years now. And it's like you've been preaching and then you flip and you see this video and they've taken so much time to be like, oh, and it's real because I've got the rock on it and da 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 da, and I'm an authentic and it's like I want to be like, no, you're not. You don't even know what you're talking about. And so I'm the worst, bro. People, and it was so funny because I was on TikTok. This girl, so I said this like on the thing saying, the nutrients can't get on the rock, and she's like, oh, why don't you show proof? Blah blah blah. Why don't you go to the group and show proof? So I'm like, okay, word, yeah, I'll go to the group and show. Like fuck, I'm sitting on a mountain of yeah. And then she's like, everything that everybody says about you is true. You need to stop creeping off my page. Yeah, which I find is hilarious. Yeah, because it's like.
But you know what? Some people just I think, have a problem, not so much with authority, but just like sometimes you just gotta play your role, man. Stay in your lane. Like everybody's time gonna come, but like if somebody's spitting out some good information, you know what I mean? They have some of the best product around right now. They're showing love, giving deals, this, that, and third. And it don't matter with some people, it don't matter what you do. It's always just never good enough. It's always, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
No, crazy, man.
You're right. But I think true talk, it's like the main thing I think they have a problem is the fact that I'm coming on their page and I'm like, it's like I'm getting up in their face and being like, hey, you know that everything you believe in and this and that is a fucking lie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I
You
understand.
standing on it.
Yeah, I understand that part, but at the same time, there's got to be a certain point where they got to be like, okay, let me listen, let me just make sure this guy, you know what I mean? Like, if you're gonna argue with, like, for me, it's like if I'm gonna argue with you, I'm gonna be like, well, let me make sure I know what I'm really talking about before I start arguing. You know what I mean? And then I look, silly or whatever. I don't know. But
I
it,
guess in a regular world, that makes you know what I mean. That makes sense. Then you gonna argue with somebody that knows exactly what they're talking about, and then you might not. You might be 25% of something somebody else told you. You of course nowadays nobody look in a book to find information. They might go on a meme or real or so, and just that's just hyper depth. Nah, do your own research. Like you said, like do your own research, figure out exactly the ins and outs before you go mouth and off. Don't even know what you're talking about, making yourself look not as intelligent as you could be, or probably are.
Yeah, and it's like, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
what you
just
going through, man? It's crazy.
I don't get it. Like, you could be talking about so much better intelligent stuff. Do you know what I mean? Than to say that this is the new, like, talk about the vitamins. Talk about like
talk about how it helps with diabetes. Talk about how it lowers blood pressure, kill cancer cells, study circulation, like start. You know what I mean? But they just go, oh, does it grow on a rock? I hear it all the time too, bro. Oh, is it growing on a rock? Yo, like, come on, like.
Fuck
Make
no.
it make sense. Are you even taking this Seamoss every day? Are you even oh no, I don't. I should, but I know it is. Like, oh man, like, come on,
honestly, between you and me, I think that if I really wanted to, and I'm not trying to like fucking boast, but like, let me rephrase it this way. It's my belief in telling the truth and the full honesty that has actually hurt my business. Like, I know that I lose a lot of business because I insist on telling the truth of what's really happening. Do you know what I mean? And so, but I'm okay with that. Do you know what I mean? Like, I get it, but it just, I don't know. It irks me, like I said, to see how people are continuing, because at the same time, I'm thinking about these farmers, bro. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the amount of videos that I watch where these guys, like 90%, I'll say this, 90% of the videos that you see where the guy's diving for the Seamoss, if you were to pull out 10 feet, you would see the Seamoss farm and everything. They literally crop it so that, you know what I mean? Like, my friends told me that they've gone up I've been there too, where I've had guys come down and they're like telling me, okay, we need to angle the shot so that we can't see the farm. We don't want them to see. I'm like, what? Like, okay, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
in 1,000 words, you're getting not even a bird's eye view. You're getting pretty much a couple feet away of exactly what's going on. You have a great understanding of the Seamoss process. So like that alone somebody should just be like, all right, let me go. You know what I mean? Obviously he's because you have to be knowledgeable with a lot of this stuff. A lot of people, because they're going to come up with questions. Some people, they want you to get on the wrong answer. But it's like, why? But it's just like, you know what I mean? It's just like, if they want you to tell them something that they want to hear so bad, like a lot of people me, oh, it's purple Seamoss, oh, it got elderberry in it. Like, so it gets to a point sometimes you're just like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it's crazy, but it's all off of hearsay, or she said, or I heard of this, like what the taste, oh, how does it taste? It's not so. It doesn't really have always the texture. Like, come on, man. Like, but when you go to the doctors, you're not asking them what this medicine tastes like when they're giving it to you. You know, you just taking it. So, but when somebody that may, so it's good. I'm getting this call real quick. I'm coming chime right back in like 3 minutes.
No problem.
All right, brother.
So Meek, that this is like you're asking if my Seamoss is wildcrafted. This is where like the whole conversation is starting. Is that the idea that people think that wildcrafted, meaning Seamoss that comes off the rock, is nutritionally better is absurd. The rock does nothing, absolutely nothing to the sea moss. The only thing the rock does and can do for the sea moss is keep it from floating away. That's it. That's the only purpose it serves. It can't get minerals from the rock. Even logically, in theory, that idea does not make any sense. Like it's absurd. Like because in order for that to have any weight, right, then all rocks need to have the same levels of nutrients. Otherwise, your sea moss will be imbalanced. Do you know what I mean? How do you know that there? Like was this rock that the sea moss grew on? Was it feeding it enough nutrients on it? Like, and in fact, it's not like the sea moss builds a lot of these nutrients and proteins through the growth of it, and so the food that it feeds on is nitrogen, phosphorus, and carbon. You know what I mean? And from then they build all the different nutrients, amino acids, and blocks and stuff like that. And I mean, some of it, okay, they absorb some shit like from the ocean. You know what I mean? But not all of it. And so, in fact, cultivated sea moss is actually better and is like safer for you. And truth be told, the majority of the sea moss, if you're getting any gold, pretty sea moss, it's been cultivated. You know what I mean? That's how we get it clean and stuff. The stuff that they get in the wild, you don't want to get it. Do I sell Condorus crispus? No, I don't. I only sell sea moss from St. Lucia. That's the only sea moss I know and I'm familiar with. But I can always introduce you to people that do sell the Condorus crispus. I have contacts with farmers that harvest it in New Brunswick, and so if you shoot me a DM asking about it, I'll send you some details on how to reach out to those guys. I think it's Rory at Atlantic Sea Veg or something like that. I'm not too sure. I'll have to look it up. But like, really, CMOS. I mean, I'm beating a dead horse, right? CMOS cannot get nutrients from a rock. CMOS gets the nutrients from the dissolved minerals in the water, the nutrients in the water, and many of these nutrients are coming from the land, through from river and rainwater runoffs. When we have like high levels of rain coming down, it adds nutrients to the water through the groundwater. And that's one of the reasons why St. Lucia's sea moss is so highly prized and considered some of the best, is because the nutrients that are coming off the land is some of the best. You know what I mean? And it mixes in with the volcanic currents and all this, the springs that we have all around the island. Um, yeah, that's it's that's how we roll. You know what I mean? And beyond the quality of the water, you know what I mean? There's more than just that. It's also the way that the farmers harvest the sea moss, the way that they clean the sea moss, the way that they dry the sea moss. That all has an effect over the overall quality and nutritional value, much more than if it was on a rock or not. You know what I mean? That's why I kind of like always laugh when I see guys, even like that guy Poppy Seamoss, where he's like, "Oh, look at the sea moss I'm cleaning," and blah blah blah. And it's just like, bro, okay, yeah, you buy a lot of sea moss, but like, and you make a lot of gel, but like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, oh, look, it's got the raw, like, it's like I get frustrated because to me, I get it irks me when I see people that are like feeding into this marketing stuff, like basically pandering to the crowd and sort of it's just like a sellout. It's fake, you know. You're right, Melanie. He is a clown, and he's just a goof. Like I've been wanting to like really. I'm gonna invite some of you guys to talk. I'm going to like. I really want to. I want to have a debate with that guy. I want to really get him on a live stream and just kind of fucking point out really how much he lacks. Like he is not an expert to be talking about Seamoss. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Gotta do your research first, man.
Yeah, I'm talking about that poppy sauce moss guy.
Oh, he in the group?
He's not in the group. If
I gotta start going into the. I'll be seeing some a little bit of the shenanigans, but I gotta get a little bit more in tune with it. Like I gotta see, because I've been in there for a while too, but I gotta start interacting a little bit more. I'm gonna start though. I am going to start because you gotta definitely push out the good knowledge, man. Because like you were saying, people with the numbers, low balling, and all that, like it's not cool because you cutting people head off for other people, you know what I mean? Or turning other people away from CMOS, and with the benefits themselves, like it can help a lot of people out. So we don't want to turn people away from something good. Like it's not a good job. So it's like people being greedy and like the low ball or just whatever, man. Like just scheming and stuff. It's just like there's no need. It's enough money to go around. Like even in certain cities, guys on it's enough money to go around for everybody. Like you know what I mean? Like
but
just know, be knowledgeable of your product and like people, so
and how to
go
sell it.
there.
But this is, bro, this is what I've been telling people for a long time because there's been so focused on price, trying to save $1 here or $2 here. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah,
in the long run, if you don't have the sales, it doesn't matter what price you pay for the CMOS.
exactly.
You know what I mean? You got
Yeah,
no sales, you got no money. But like if
yeah,
you focus on the sales, at the end of the day, like even for me right now, the price is going up because my prices. I've never focused on getting the cheapest CMOS. It's almost like there hasn't been much of a difference. You know what I mean? Yes, the price has gone up,
yeah.
but I'm used to paying this price, and my whole business alignment adjusts to that. And I'm not focused on the price. I'm focused on the volume. Do you know what I mean? Like moving, reaching as many people as I can.
Exactly. Yeah, that
Hmm.
make and that just makes so much more sense than like pretty much like when the prices are going up, you already had your prices set to a certain place where it doesn't even matter if you know what I mean if the numbers go up an extra 5 or 10 or whatever the case because you kind of got it set up to a point where you're not trying to get rich off of 1 pound of sea moss. You know what I'm saying? You'd
Hmm.
rather try to get off 50 or 100 or whatever the case at a reasonable price, and you know what I mean, still be able to do numbers opposed to when it gets so cheap and you're not even making money off of your own product. So you're
Yeah,
doing stuff. So now you pretty much hustling backwards. Like
bro.
yeah, man, they gotta make sense, man. It's like it definitely gotta make sense. Like,
Well,
period. Even though I look at it like even with the CMOs, we make money on it, but the more benefit we're getting out of it because we're helping people. You know what I mean? So
mhm.
it's like, but in the same breath, it all still for your time, your gas, still make it make sense. Like you know what I mean? It's
Hmm.
like gotta use your head too. Don't get it twisted. So
No,
it's
no,
crazy, man.
no, no. You're right, and you gotta focus. Like, see, you've been doing it smart. Like, bro, the amount of people that I talk to, and it's like I say this, but it's like I know I'm shooting myself in the foot because some of these people, when I tell the story, they're gonna say, "Oh, that's me." But the amount of people that I talk to, where it's like they're telling me, "Oh, I'm running a business and I need this CMOS. I need my 1 pound," and I'm like, 1 pound. 1 pound. Like, how are you making money? No wonder you got to break me down on the price. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you,
Yeah,
and to
because you're
me,
breaking yourself down. You're not even giving your business a chance to do anything. How is it go? You know what I mean? Like you're cutting your own head. But like, say they want 15 jars of moss. Like you're done.
bro, exactly, bro. You should not be. First of all, you should not be starting with less than 5 pounds if you're getting into gel. Facts,
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
less. And then after your your next re-up, you should be getting at least 10, 15 pounds. Like, look at you, like the amount, and I don't want to say how much you get, but you get enough that it's like, you don't have to worry about it for weeks. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll be good for about a couple months or a week, whatever. It's like, and that's the worst thing I believe in with the Seamoss game, with any game, is you never run out.
Yeah.
You never run out of what's your business. You never run out of your business, because as soon as you run out, that's when everybody and mama gonna call you. Now you want to cuss the Seamoss man out because you was lacking on your hustle and your grind. So now your customer's looking at you with like you got 3 heads, and now you're going at the supplier like he did wrong because you wasn't taking your business serious as you should. So like, you can't get mad at the, you know what I mean? You gotta get mad at yourself, and experience. Remember, like, you can't never run out. You know what I mean? But that comes a lot of times as well with experience. And you never, you know what I mean? Even if sometimes you see most, sales slow up a little bit, never run out of product, because you just never know. There's going to be some slow weeks, and then some good weeks, and you know what I mean? But you never run out though. The money still has to be ready to, rock and roll when it's time to go ahead and end your business.
Yeah, people are not managing their business consistently for the growth. Do you know what I'm saying? Because, like I was saying, 5 pounds is like what? Here, what is it? Let me just go to the US here. I'm just going on my website just to kind of illustrate people the point. Like, okay, so $5 pounds is 150 pounds, right? And 15 pounds is $400, right?
Okay.
1 pound should make you enough to be able to afford the 15 pounds.
Just period, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that even if it's 2 pounds, yeah. So it's like, if you have 5 pounds, you should be able to take 2 pounds of that and just devote it to reinvestment and still have profit of 3 pounds. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you get 15 pounds, and then like the shipping costs for 15 pounds and the shipping costs for 5 pounds are almost identical. So why are you? You know what I mean? And not only that, like you should be thinking from your supplier too. It's like, because some of these guys, we include free shipping, so they're like, oh, I'll just take 5 pounds every week. But it's like, no, man, you're killing me.
Why waste your time? Yeah, you burning me out. You burning my gas up, and not even get cocky, but it's just like, yo, like, come on, like, just go, and not even the supplier being greedy is just like, make it make sense, like, you like invest in yourself, like somebody. Like somebody told me that like a long time ago. Like, invest in yourself. You're a walking business. Like you have to uphold. Like this is your business. This represents you 100 times. You know, somebody might come to you. Hey, I want to do such and such. You want to be prepared. You want to be ready. So it's just like, and then like the price, especially you telling somebody like you're giving out good prices. You're able to sell 3 pounds and you can get your 10 or 15. So it's like, why not take advantage of that? Like, you know what I mean? Of course, everybody got bills and things of that nature, but that's why I tell people, like, Seamoss is a type of hustle where, it's not really so much double. Sometimes it can get to triple or quadruple, depending on how you do it. If you're, planning it a certain way. So it's like, you got to use your head. Like, and don't get intimidated by, you know what I mean? It's what it says. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. So even if you have to build your clientele, you got to slow walk it. But it's a lot. There's a lot coming with it. But just make it make sense, man, for the supplier and for yourself. Don't burn. People don't like to get burnt out, man. Nobody want to get burnt out. It's just like, it's just crazy. Like but it's like, some people don't understand that. They think, oh, I'm just spending the money. It's not always about the money. You know what I mean? It's about the money. Money coming and go, but good people, good customer service, good business practices. You know what I mean? That's what makes this. That's what builds relationships. And
and that's a good point, because like, look, you may not do this business for the rest of your life, right? But this is a learning experience. That's what a lot of people don't realize, is like, you know what? once you master this, do you know what I mean? Like you can apply this to anything. So it's almost like, why aren't you putting your fucking whole life into this and stuff? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
God's giving you an opportunity to sell a product, whatever that product is. Learn how to sell the shit out of that product, and then if you don't like, maybe you don't like CMOS, but you know what I'm saying? Like, this is a skill.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like, think
And a
about
lot of
this.
people don't understand, like and see, like some people, like even my mom was selling Seamoss for a while. She was like, it is somewhat of a hard grind, but it's not to a certain extent. But like some people want stuff just to fall in their lap. Like you
Yeah.
have to be knowledgeable of the project, like we was talking about a little earlier. So, like, yeah, sometimes you have to, maybe have a little charm, know how to, you know what I mean? You can't just be like, your attitude, your energy, all that plays a big part. People like to buy from people they like. You know what I mean? Like, so at least make like pretty much boiling back down to customer service and things. You know what I mean? Like talk and like how you would want someone to talk to you when you want a product. You know what I mean? And but I think that the best thing is just get knowledgeable. Like you gave you got some good posts with excellent information. But it's always good for people sometimes to go get that information on your own as well. Put in the time for your business if you want sales, if you want. I mean, you gotta put the work in. It doesn't happen overnight, man. It's a process. Like
That's so
definitely
true.
a process.
Definitely doesn't happen overnight, man.
I know, man. It's the hustle and bustle. You gotta be willing to, what I mean, kind of put forth your all. You gotta give it your all, man. Like sometimes even when I talk about Seamoss, I get a little excited, but it's like it does something to me. It does. I don't know. Just I guess, as far as like, I actually was at a doctor's. Went to the doctor's today. My pressure was good. You know what I mean. My mom take her moss. Her pressure is always good, and these are good things. Like especially in different ages, different race communities. Like high blood sugar is killing our people. Diabetes is killing our people. Thyroid issues are killing our women, or you know what I mean. Issues and things. So this stuff is very important. This is not no, water over the bridge. A lot of people think this is like, nah, this is life or death. But we kind of got to take it that way. We're kind of, in a sense, we're doctors. You know what I mean? Like, we're not, we get certified from the earth, if that make any sense. So,
yeah.
And I'm pretty sure we all got plenty of people say, hey, man, you helped me lose weight. Some of my cousins say, you helped me give me a different outlook on my health. And like, yeah, that makes you feel good. So like, take that and I think just drive with it. And if that doesn't make you, want to sell some Seamoss, I don't know what, So it's like, but you gotta want it yourself too. Never gotta want it yourself.
But you brought up some good point. And that is like, we're spreading this health and stuff like that, and I think that, like, as you said, I realize, like, we're really doing ourselves a disservice in the sense that, like, we're beyond Dr. Sebi. You're not searching for the knowledge. Do you know what I mean? So my example is this. Okay, yes, so say you believe that there's 92 minerals, but most people don't even know what half those. They don't even know 10 of those minerals. They don't even know what those minerals do and why they work. And okay, do you know what I mean? Like, I think I should do a video where it's kind of like, okay, yes, it's got 92 minerals. So what? What is that? What the fuck does that mean?
What do they consist of? What are, what I mean?
Yeah.
Give me some ramifications. And you know what I usually do? Like back to like old school days, which they don't do so much of now, is to get in my brain is the right. Like say, even if I did look it up online and write it down, let it helps it try to get in your brain a little bit better. Like write it down, or just have the paperwork close by to you, or I mean, just in case you want to refresh your mind, or because we talk about it every day, but it's so much knowledge and so much that Seamoss literally does for you that a lot of stuff we probably don't even know, but it's like it's just a lot of information. So it's like, why not have it around you? Or
Mm-hmm.
it's actually it's kind of a great product so much because it's for all ages. Or, you know what I mean? It's for everybody. And it's like it's the things that it has in it, man, to help people is just kind of incredible. Honestly, like but like you said, it's the knowledge, man. You gotta have the knowledge.
We barely are scraping the surface of the knowledge. That's a fact. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't think, most people, and I'm not trying to throw shame on them. It's more about trying to highlight.
Just keeping it real. That's what I had to tell my mom because she was selling Seamoss at a flea market. Actually, she was doing really good. She was making like $1,000 in like 2 days, man. She was kicking butt, man.
That's badass.
But she was more into it for the money. It wasn't like from the heart. So like it slowed down and she kind of stopped rocking with it. But it's like you can't just do it for the money. Like, you know what I mean? I was saying, damn, mom, get some smoothies. Do it. Oh, it's a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, sometimes the stuff you don't want to do, that's the important stuff. But that's how you might get the real money that you really want. Those couple extra steps. So it's
Mhm.
like, yeah,
But
man,
but but
it's important, man. It's like that's why you can't. You gotta do it. Sometimes, like even when you got your sea moss in that water, man, hold it. Like you can
mhm.
feel the life coming off of that. So it's like,
True.
yeah, man, it's heavy.
True.
It's
True.
crazy. I got some of the. I have some of the vitamins and stuff next to me, not too far away. Yeah, iron, sodium, calcium, iodine, copper, magnesium. I will tell you, talking about that, iron, potassium. Yeah, man.
Uh,
Promotes wellness to increase vitamins.
but
Yeah, it's
here's the
just,
thing.
it's a lot, man. It's crazy.
What?
See,
Yeah.
it was crazy. We were just talking about some of the vitamins. I had someone pretty close. As I said, you gotta keep your stuff close to you, man. You never know, man. You might get a call. Somebody like, yo, I want 10, you know what I mean? I want 20 or I might want 5 pounds of Seamoss and then like, hey, tell me, I know this particular vitamin A, what's it good for? What can you know what I mean? And then
Mhm.
you might not know that answer. And they be like, man, I wish you would. They be like, all right, man, I'll give you a call back. And we all know what that means, you know what I mean? It's like,
You go to someone else.
the other guy got that other Seamoss guy called in and he was ready and he had that answer. So it's like
Mhm.
it's the little stuff sometimes, man. Like sometimes you can talk yourself out of a cell sometimes.
Oh
Sometimes
fuck.
people give them too much. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's like
You just go yapping, and gotta be careful. But I just want to touch something back where you were talking earlier about the money. Like, I get it. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, you got to do for this money," but to me, I have no problem with someone that's in it to make that's in it for the money, like sees the money and stuff like that. But what you got to realize is that, like, if you're in it for the money, be in it for the money, right? Make a business out of it. Put the time, and if you're looking at the work and saying, "Oh, this is too much work for this," then find someone to replace you. Do you know what I mean? Move, like,
yeah,
treat it like a business, and move on up. Because the reality is, okay, I'm not, how do I say it? My top priority is not making money, but I my priority is to make money, because the money that I'm making is going to make my true
the
priority.
business even more of what we wanted to be as far as help other
Like,
people. No, that makes sense. But yeah,
you
some
need,
people don't they want the money but don't want to put forth the work.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you are somebody that does put forth the work. Like you talking about your ads and this, like you're willing to invest into yourself, and like that has to be mandatory.
Hmm.
That you can't say you want the money but don't want to put the work in
Working.
for the money.
That
So it's like
that's facts.
well, it has to make sense.
Yeah, and put the time in it though, and then make some money, man. Like, don't do that. Like, I know this buddy of mine, and like, what's crazy? He should be the number one fucking CMOS seller, herb guy. He's been doing it for the longest time. You know what I mean? And every time I talk to him, he's always complaining, like, oh, these guys are all making money and all this and that. And then I'd be like, okay, well, let's do this to make money. He's like, I ain't about the money. I'm here to heal people. I'm like,
Yeah, like
then
you,
shut the
you want
fuck
the money
up.
too, because you the money, like the money do, people got bills and stuff, so we gotta
Yeah,
be realistic.
make
You
the
know what I mean?
money.
We definitely still we got bills to pay, we got kids and things of that nature. So yeah, you can't really look, like
Yeah,
you want you do, you want the money is still,
just
you know what I mean? You
listen. You
gotta like why not make money to help people? Why not? If you wanna get the money, you do it in a good way. You gotta
exactly.
be positive and you know what I
Just
mean,
be
and you get blessed when you do help people. So
just be righteous
yeah.
about it. Do you know what I mean? Right? Just be righteous about it, and you'll be fine. You know what I mean? That's like
Yeah.
honestly, that's sort of my code of life in anything. Whatever I do it in a righteous manner. If I look and say, okay, I don't think this is righteous, then I'm not doing it. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sometimes you have to do certain things that might seem unethical, but in the grand scheme of things, it's a righteous thing to do. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So
Not a fact.
yeah, so that's how I see it, and we we need to make money. This the business doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that shit like you said it costs it's 500 just to you gotta pay the guys and everything, you know what I mean? So like that
yeah.
alone, man, you gotta make those sales and it's doable. It's
Hmm.
doable, man. It's cool.
You know
Definitely
what?
doable.
One of my biggest dreams for St. Lucia is for us to build this CMOS industry to the point where we're reducing crime and we're creating sustainable livelihoods for St. Lucians.
Oh
You know what I
wow,
mean?
yeah, that's good.
Like
Nah,
this.
and that's yeah, shit, yeah, exactly. Same, definitely, 'cause, we get them all from St. Lucia, and then and I believe it's so much with the farming and everything that St. Lucia and like damn near everywhere now is like so
Mhm.
many people have health issues. So many people this could help so many people if they just will
Mhm.
be kind of open minded about taking like oh I don't like how it tastes this the that the third like yo like this helps you.
Mhm.
This helps a lot of people. You'd be surprised, man. Like it helps, man. Honestly, me taking Seamoss, it gave my life a 360, man. Make me feel 10 years younger. So that alone, I guess I experimented on myself, like just healing, strength.
Mhm.
Just all those vitamins is like brain food, so it makes you smarter. Giving it to my son is just like, if you just sit and watch, you can just, you know what I mean. But you have to, I guess you have to, put time into yourself, love on yourself. So all of those things had to make sense, man. And I guess the audience and all that plays a big role. Like who exactly are the people that want to see Moss? Even though I believe if I can talk to somebody, then maybe I can get them to understand why they need CMOS. If you know what I mean, or try to. You can't. Everybody not going to. Some people you can tell them like why they need it. You can lead them to the water, but pretty much 1,000 ways. Like I don't know, man. It's just
I
it get crazy.
I've never if explained right, everybody will take CMOS. I've never met someone who, when I've taken the time to explain exactly what it does, that they were not curious or interested in trying. Now, sometimes they might not put their money up and buy it, but if you were to give them a free CMOS and say, "Here, take this and try it," they'd be like, "Hell yeah," you know.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure, for sure.
And maybe
Nah,
that's something I should do. That would be a crazy marketing scheme. I think someone's done it already.
I think about stuff like that, like giving people CMOS and all that, and I be wanting to, but some people like playing your face, they'll take it and waste it. So that's kind of, but I mean, it's like,
People do what they're gonna people
I'm
do.
not a wasteful person. I don't like wasting food. I don't like, you know what I mean? So it's like,
Then
that's
don't.
kind of, to me, it's a smack in the face. If I give you something and you don't, usually I'll think, at least if you pay me, you'll at least think about taking it. You know what I mean? It's like somebody taking it, oh, I'll put it in the fridge. I have people, oh man, I paid for that. I left it in the car. I'm like, oh, all right. Like, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, like, I don't, you know what I mean? I don't condone those type of things. Like, this is for you to consume, but it's just like I want you to understand that your health is important. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
But if you were to give this to 100 people and say 10 didn't utilize it, would that make you upset?
nah, no, no,
Okay,
no, no.
then don't worry about it. You know what I mean? Because the reality is that the majority of the people that you give it to are going to use it. You know what I mean? There's only a small percentage, maybe 10%. You know what I mean? And once you identify those, you just never give it to them again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
That's
You'll
it.
find out. You'll
Yeah,
find out. You'll
you gotta
find out.
you gotta test the market in a sense. You know what I mean? But I think it's the energy and the act of you just giving that stuff away. Like people don't realize like there's a lot of like un how do you say it, undercover laws of the universe. What's up, Yusuf? So like the law of sacrifice. Do you know what I mean? The law of reciprocation and stuff. So when you're giving these stuff and doing stuff, it's like, this is, it comes back to you. Do
Oh
you
yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah. Tenfold, tenfold,
Hmm.
tenfold. Yeah,
Even
tenfold.
like with these live streams, like me sitting here helping people out, you know what I mean? Giving up my time for this, it turns stuff, it's like I get blessings in other ways for doing it. I may not make a sale. Like I've never sold Seamoss off of doing these live streams. 90% of the people that watch these live
Tea right
streams,
now. Sipping on some Seamoss tea right now.
nice. Try doing a
Enjoying this tea.
4 8 ounce trial. So that's a good idea. But I think if I were to do a trial thing,
That's actually actually a great idea because, like you said, pretty much the ratio. Like, yeah, sometimes you look at the ratio. Like, if I do, because I know my bro, I know my bro Moss Boss at when he does his pop up shops, he does do samples, and a lot of people do chime in with the samples and stuff.
well,
Like, so it is a good idea. You know what I mean? Or maybe give them like a 4 ounce jar. Like, try this out. Take a couple tablespoons. Even if you do it for 2 to 3 days, see if it's a mild laxative. See if it cleans you out. So.
mhm.
Yeah,
Well, that's the thing. If I did it, I would give away like whatchamacallit. I would give away the gel already made. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't give away free raw sea moss. I would sell the gel and say, "This is what my CMOS gel, like this is what the gel is going to look like from my CMOS."
uh,
What's up, Yusuf?
I had a good when I first kind of got into the CMOS, I was having a good run with like doing like monthly supplies of the raw, like monthly supplies of the raw, like 20, 30 bucks. And it was doing pretty good, but what slowed it up is a lot of people don't like to make their own CMOS. So I did start having to sell the gel, but at the time I wasn't overnighting the gels. Now I do, but
Yeah,
it was sometimes people don't want it. They don't feel like making it. Like they feel like you do it. You know what I mean? So
oh,
like, all
totally,
right, whatever, I'll do it.
bro. Like a large percentage of the people don't want to make it. You know what I mean? And that's what I was kind of explaining to some people because there were people that I would get to, and they would be like, "Oh, um, people have been asking me for the dried, but I don't want to give them the dried. It's going to cut into my business." I'm like, bro, those guys were never your business to begin with. That's why they want the dry.
Video went out.
Hmm? What'd you say?
Video went out.
Yeah. So are you saying the video went up?
Yeah, his video. I see a buffer.
Oh, his video went out. Yeah. Maybe his phone died. So where are you traveling? Look at you in the dark with your red light on.
I left Oklahoma. Oklahoma. I was in Atmore, whatever it is, Atmore, Oklahoma.
Never heard it.
I picked up in Elk City. I drove to Elk City, picked up a load. Now I'm on my way to Nashville. I have like 100 miles left.
Nashville,
Like an hour and a
Tennessee.
half. Nashville, Tennessee.
So you're on the road right now, just cruising.
Yeah.
So when you drive, do you like have like autopilot on, or how does it work? Doesn't even look like you're driving.
Yeah, I have, no, like I use cruise control sometimes, but I don't like using that because I'd rather my foot on that pedal because I control it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have to do too. I don't shift because I don't have a. This not a manual truck. I'd be damn if I drive a manual truck all that shifting. I want bad knees.
Yeah, I didn't know they made automatic semis. I always thought it was.
Yeah. Most people switching over to automatic semis now.
Mm-hmm. You don't want to deal with that.
I hopped as soon as they kind of like started getting more popular. So that it kind of spoils you because you're like, yeah, I ain't never doing a manual.
No, I could see it, man. Like it like it doesn't look like you're driving at all right now.
Yeah, it's moving. I'm on a smooth road right now. That's why usually it's a bumpy road.
Bumpy.
I'm going up and down hills, going to Nashville, which is horrible.
Crazy.
Oh, you got a drone?
Yeah, I have a couple of drones. And actually, yeah, I got two now. I got the DJI 3 and the 2.
DJI 3?
Yeah.
That's the Maverick?
No, the Mini. This Mini thing is fucking bomb, bro. Bomb. I spent a little bit of extra money on it, but compared to the 2, let me go get it real quickly and I'll show it off. But compared to the 2, it's like night and day. Like it's got so much features.
Slow?
Oh, there. I think Buddy's back. Yeah. So yeah, I got the. So this is the DJI 3. Yeah, I figured. But I'm showing my drone now.
Which one is that?
This is the DJI 3, which is like it's super small, but bro, the pictures and the quality is like killer. And then so it has the little thing here, and so this thing too, you can do it portrait or landscape.
Yeah, that's tight.
Yeah, turn it on.
I guess you go with fly, pretty much fly that around and get footage and everything.
Yeah, so I'm using this for the footages on the farm, the Seamoss farms.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you've been using to get your footage.
Yeah. So
okay, that camera is pretty good though.
Yeah, it's got sensors in the front, a sensor in the back here, and then a sensor on the bottom. So it's got collision avoidance and stuff like that.
Nice. Yeah, they make some of the best drones. I think right now they like the top. That's like the top company right now. That's the only one I see in the store.
For sure. And I mean, I got the DJI controller with the screen. Oh, bro.
You ain't got the helmet yet, the glasses?
No, that's for the what do they call it? The first person view or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one, it's like I'll show you when I get in design. Like what's cool is you have the ability to change the perspective of the camera. See how it goes like that?
Oh.
You can go landscape to portrait.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Oh yeah, that's nice. Now, I know some of them carry the GoPro. I I know some of them be having that GoPro on. I'm not sure if that's how they come.
The older ones do.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like even the Mavericks and the older one. But this one's designed like it's like the smallest one that they make, and it's designed so that like I can fly it anywhere without a license and shit.
So that's the smallest one.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's because I know I was looking at one of them. I wasn't sure if it would be a good purchase or not.
Oh, this one's bad. All of them are good purchases. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But to me, it's like if you want to travel and take like, because all the other drones they're big. You know what I mean? And they can be kind of clunky. Whereas this can fit in your backpack or your camera bag fairly easy.
Yeah.
You know, like I actually want to put a camera bag together because I have these cameras too for the guys down there.
Okay.
Yeah. It's actually crazy how much camera footage they have there. Yet these guys should be pumping out footage every fucking day. They're never.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never lie. That content, man, definitely. Especially, but I think it's you gotta get that good content though too.
Yeah, it's not easy getting good content. You know.
No, you gotta get good content, man. People like you can have some trash video if people know how to edit it, and like the like the if you know how to what is it called? Like when they take the raw footage and they kind of fix it up, make it look better, and I'm not that good.
Post production and
stuff. That's something I'm trying to get into because I'm doing a podcast soon, so that's something I'm trying to get into. Post production.
Yeah, I use Final Cut.
Like you said, I don't think it's that hard. You just definitely gotta get into. I think it's just something you gotta get into. Just like anything else, like basketball, any sport, you get better with practice. You know what I mean? More practice, just playing with it.
That's
true. I think it's kind of time consuming, but I guess you can get monies out of it. So you put in life, but you get out. So
Yeah. I use Final Cut for mine. It does pretty well. Final Cut Pro, that's the software I use for my video editing. But there's so much like different softwares nowadays you can use. So I always like watching my my Google traffic on my analytics to show. So this is give you guys a little brief view. These are the amount of users that I had in the last 7 days. So 1.8 thousand new users. So maybe 100 repeat users. This is like in the last few minutes. This is cool. It like can show you like exactly who's viewing my website and where.
Wow.
Yeah. So I got.
Okay, so that's how that works.
Yeah, and this is on Google Analytics. It links to your Shopify. So there's someone viewing.
Is that Wix?
No, this is Google Analytics. So I linked that to my Shopify. I think you could link it to your Wix site too.
Yeah, my Wix has my analytics and stuff with I think last 30 days or something like that, right?
Yeah, but bro, you got to link it to the Google. You got to get Google connected because, bro, it's like fucking steroids. Like I can go over my overview, so I could see like where my traffic's coming from who, and stuff. I can go into engagement. I can see like what they're engaging in, the sessions per users, like what pages they're at and stuff, right?
That's something you pay for monthly?
No, this is free, bro. This is all Google Analytics, right? And so you can see and understand what your traffic's doing. So it'll show like my revenue for the week, how many purchasers, how many were first time purchasers and stuff, and then even show like what items they purchased. I'm down like, in the last week compared to the week before. I'm up on this product. You know what I mean? And then where it even really sort of like takes like goes crazy is when you get into audiences, right? And so let me go back here. Let me go to the audience, Shopify traffic. Where is, how do I get to, oh, here it is, settings. So I go to the settings, I go into this thing called audiences, and now I can show different audiences groups, right? And then I can create an audience, right? Based on whatever parameters I have, right? So I can do recently active users or people that have engaged in a particular page. So here's user engagement, right? I can add a parameter. The parameter is, I don't know, an event count. I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing right now, bro. But there's supposed to be ones where it's like I can do like they looked at a web page, you know what I mean, or something. Here, let me see if I can go.
Are these people that are subscribed to you?
These are people that visit my website. So here's one where I got recently active visitors. These are users that have been active on my website in whatever so many days. What?
Get the last 8 days, right?
Yeah, or I can even do like people that went on my site that abandoned a cart, or people that went on my site and didn't purchase, right? And so the formula is like include users when they make a purchase or they don't. Exclude, oh, so this one is non-purchasers. So exclude users that have made a purchase. And then so there's this many people in the audience, but then you could take this audience and make like a lookalike audience, right? So I have all these audiences here that I built, non-purchasers, all users, and stuff like that, right? But when you go into um, Google AdWords, you know what? I should actually do this because I'm on one channel and no one can see what I'm doing on that channel. Let me see if I can put the page and share it. Just give me 1 second. There. Let's see, yes. So there we go. So those on my Facebook can see what you guys are seeing. So now I'm in my Google Ads thing, right? Shows like how much clicks I did today, or in the last, I think it's 7 days. How many clicks, how many purchases, sales, my cost per click, the ROAS. This is the return on ad spend. Basically, for every dollar I spent on Google, I got, or say for every $100 I spent on Google, I got $122 in sales from that, from the results.
So you're in the green. You're not in the red. You're in the green.
Yeah, so but like ideally, I wanted to get up to like 500. But where Google ads shine, where any ads shine, is in the audiences, in the creations of the audiences. And if you look into, and that's sort of what I'm trying to learn right now and study, is understanding how to build proper audiences in Google. Because like here I have all users of my traffic, website users, it's got these many people. But so these are the audiences which I can decide to stream the products to or stream the ads to. And so the better I get these audiences at, the more I'll save money on advertising.
Because those pretty much people they all they need to do is see something about promotions or they repeated customers.
Yeah, some of them are. Or look at this one, similar to win back our opportunities from Klaviyo. So what this says is like automatically created expanding segment with similar interests to those people in the win back opportunities in Klaviyo. So in my Klaviyo app, I've identified based on people purchasing on my site, people that like are interested in my site but haven't made a purchase in a while. And so I put them under my win back, meaning that I want to stream ads towards them that would win them back to being buyers, right? But what I've also done was created a market that's similar to those same sort of people. And so the idea is that you basically find people that want to buy off your site, and then find people that are like those people that want to buy your site, and you make sure you stream the ads only to them, so that you're not spending money just randomly throwing ads out to people.
Mm. It's pretty much pushing it out, pretty much. Pushing it out. And just see, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, figuring out who to push it out to and why.
Helping you to lock down your audience and lock down, the people who you dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Or potential customers.
Yeah, and so you can have data segments here. You can also build audiences, which I think a lot of these audiences are combinations of the groups and the different segments and stuff. And so I've created a couple of these audiences, and I'm running them on different groups, and then using those to see which ads like perform the best.
Well, pretty much the revenue you got off that, right?
Yeah. Like here, this one here, I have a conversion for Performance Max. I spent $760 on the ads. They gave me 839 conversions at a cost of 99 cents per conversion, and the rated conversion rate was 3%.
Mm.
And so I
mean, that's some damn bad, especially making something out of nothing. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No.
So it's like, shit, plus is always better than negative.
For sure. I'm trying to see if there's a way to see how many sales I got from this one campaign.
Yeah, my God, to get back over. I'm on the road, so
Campaigns. There we go. Yeah, so here was total cost $767. Average conversion rate was 3.9. Conversion file 647. Average conversion cost 0.4. Conversions. See, part of this is trying to understand what it really means, but I think basically it cost me like 91 cents per person to go out and link on the website, like to send them to the website, or maybe that's my cost per click. But some of these you got to keep the conversion like low. Like I have one where the cost per conversion is $20. Ooh, that's crazy. Mm. But even this, I think, like I got to look back at this, but so I have the campaigns here, and audience, all campaigns, and then I'm looking at audience performance. You know what I mean? People looking for Seamoss, people looking cold buyers, looking for new buyers. What was this? Optimized targeting. I'm looking at like depending on these. This one here, I used more audience segments and then added more links. So it's I guess you like that's the challenge is trying to find like the best audiences and how do you know.
Oh, this thing is ratting on me and everything.
Huh?
Talking about the GPS ratting on me and everything. Everything, right?
I'm gonna play with some of these audiences. I want to try and get the bigger audiences and sort of like the what do they call them? The similar to all converters. Now look at that. 27 people have visited my YouTube page in the past 30 days. That's not good. Not good at all. Have you Seamoss Avenue, have you thought about doing any like Google AdWords or marketing?
Oh, like getting a Seamoss Google app?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one good.
I think I got to do like a course or something like that where we go into detail on how to, you know what I mean, build the right audiences and stuff like that.
Somebody calls it LOL.
Huh?
No, somebody LOL. Home type, yeah, man. Nah, that's good though, man. Shoot, sometimes you gotta see who your audience is, so you definitely can go have something to go off of, or or something new to go off of. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
New customers are always good, always a plus.
For sure. You guys always got to be finding new ways to, you know, get more business.
So that's mandatory.
Mm-hmm. That's like sort of like the day. That's what my day spent is trying to, you know, how do I do better than the day before? How do I, you know, maximize my sales?
Keep up with all of that in one place.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, a wise man told me a long time ago, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, man.
That is facts. So
Yeah,
true.
1,000 ways to skin a cat.
So true.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And there's always a back door to everything.
I'm happy you got me on this, though, man. Definitely, man. We gotta definitely keep promoting the St. Luke's Seamoss, man. Let these people get these vitamins up in them, man. I think it's not a joke.
For sure.
Don't let people off these hospital beds, and you know what I mean, dealing with these issues, high blood pressure, strokes was taking people out left and right, diabetes, cutting people's toes off, and yeah, man, it's all fun and games. So the doctor telling you that, saying they about to operate and all that. That's only when it gets scary. So let's bust some power moves. Take the couple tablespoons you gotta take daily. So you don't have to worry about a doctor telling somebody, a man you don't know, telling you some things you gotta do, and some of the things you ain't gonna want to do them. So it's like, don't even do that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Dude, man. Cut my toe off. Yeah, that shit started getting real. Funny, but man. Man. My great grandma, it went to the toes, to the foot, to the ankle, to lead, you know what I mean? Shit, but she was gone. So, you definitely trying to break these generational curses that been, getting passed on. It's not even so much of stuff they be saying hereditary. It's just cleaning up our diet. Cleaning up the diet. Cleaning up the diet. You ain't gotta be perfect, just some things with moderation. That's all.
True. You gotta take it all. You can't overdo it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like this until
discipline. I got discipline to a certain extent.
Yeah, but until we start researching beyond this idea of 92 minerals and stuff, it's like it's going to be harder for these people to realize that they need this. Like the more I think about it, the more I realize that the main reason why this Seamoss is not more popular is because we're focused on 92 minerals rather than the actual minerals.
Yeah, facts. Yeah, exactly. You gotta start breaking them down, man. Like what's it? You know what I mean?
No one knows what the minerals are, even to know 20 of them.
Yeah, man.
Even I listen. Even I don't know all the minerals. Do you know what I mean? Like real talk. We all should know at least 10 or 20 like nutrients in it and what those nutrients do. Do you know what I mean? Now I know a lot. Like I know there's magnesium, I know there's phosphorus, I know there's calcium, selenium, you know what I mean? Like all these other stuff. But
zinc, iron, like it's a lot. Like all you gotta do is look up non-essential and essential minerals. You'll get like the essential and non-essential minerals. That are kind of like a baseline. Everything else probably.
But even
you probably don't need.
Yeah. But even just not knowing that, but we also need to know like what are the uses of those nutrients.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like why do you need iron? Why do you need zinc? Why do you need selenium? You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize how beneficial, or the polysaccharides. What polysaccharides are in there and why you need them. What about the taurine? You know what I mean? Like people don't realize that there's taurine in there, and that can aid in helping the reducing the fat cells or whatever taurine does, cells burn fat. You know what I mean?
I actually got a few here. I would say magnesium, anti-inflammatory, regulates heartbeat, blood pressure, promotes bone health. You a lot of about the calcium, bone health, enables muscle contraction, improves heart function. Zinc's another really good one. Boosts immunity, regulates blood sugar, and promotes a healthy heart. You said selenium boosts immunity, promotes thyroid health, and has strong antioxidants. Vitamin K produces protein for bone health and normalizes blood. Yeah, it's a lot. That's nice. Is the building block of proteins, muscles, and enzymes, and hair. Yeah, so this stuff is just like this. This ain't no like mediocre type of things that what I mean. We're not getting this in our regular diet. It ain't happening. We're not getting these in our diet. So like, why not? Take advantage. And as of now, you're saying that the moss is going up, the prices aren't so bad. So take advantage of this because the next 5 to 10 years is going up. It's going up, man. Like we not gonna want to do it, but it's like then people gonna be hit then. Like you feel what I'm saying? I hate like when you come back around, like you gonna get taxed. Like I'm gonna be hurt, but it's like it's business, man. I'm still gonna want to heal you. I'll help you out and all that, but it's going, you know what I mean? Like, come on, man. You gotta tap in. Definitely gotta tap in while things on the grass is green.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing too. If you understand more about what's in the Seamoss and stuff, you could sell it for a higher price. Because, bro, I have people that are like coming to my health food store to get magnesium, and they're using magnesium for all different purposes. Like some people are using it to help them sleep better. Some people are using it so that they can shit. You know what I mean? Some people are fucking. It's all crazy, and then it's kind of like if you said to someone, "Oh, you have constipation? Here, Seamoss has this much magnesium, and this magnesium is going to help you go to the washroom and unblock all this and this and that." Oh, and on top of that, the magnesium is needed for all your bone growth and shit like that. Oh, it also has calcium in it. Did you know that the calcium is going to stop your osteoporosis? You know what I mean? Like it's all, bro. Like I know some people.
Anybody with a right mind is gonna say, "Yeah, let me get some of that."
I
Or maybe I should get 2 jars.
yes,
You know what I mean?
bro. I have some people that come in the health store and will spend $200, 500, $200 to $500 on supplements, and a lot of the supplements you could probably take CMOS and for like a majority of them, you know, probiotics, all kinds of stuff. But then there's no one's talking about what their uses are and what's in it, and then the official food therapist. No, I don't have a book with all this info, but there is a book out there by Jamari Kirby. If you go into vegan fiber or Google vegan fiber, they sell a book called Seamossology, where it is like it goes through the whole science and history of CMOS and different types of CMOS. It's almost like an introductory, like it's like not. I don't want to say introductory because it's not like it's basic information, but more like it's almost like a standard manual for anybody that's in CMOS. So like anybody that wants to get serious about their game in CMOS, I recommend they get that book and read it. Yeah, I have a copy.
Send me the link.
Yeah, I'll look it up and I'll send it to you later. I have a copy, and you know, I mean, they gave me a free copy, and I went over it, and it's very.
I think I have a copy of that too.
Yeah.
Is it the green book?
Yeah, the green book.
Yeah, I have a copy of that and the other one that talks about sea moss, seaweed, and it talks about seaweed and mushroom, how to cultivate it and stuff like that, how to grow it and things.
Mm-hmm.
Good, that's good.
Exactly, vegan fiber Seamossology. So yeah, I gotta go cop. They have it in audiobook, hard copy, and I don't know, ebook too, like soft copy. They shot me a hard copy, which was really nice of them, and I got to read it, which was good. And then even the audio, they sent me an audio copy, and it's one of those ones you can like listen into the car. It's very readable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you gotta get that info, man. That's mandatory. Make it make a little bit more sense. Like, and some people's like, you gotta break it down to them, man. It'd be hard, but it's just like, yo, it's really just good to go in your diet. It's not hard to take. Like I was saying tonight, you just throw it in your tea, throw it in if you drink tea, throw it in your tea, or quick smoothie or shit. I haven't even cooked with it before. I put it in some turkey burgers before. I haven't done it in a while, but it's like
It's actually better warm too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Seamoss is better warm.
It's better warm. I like you drink that stuff cold. Good grief.
Yeah, like the heat. Yeah.
I like it cold.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But like I noticed, I noticed like when you put it in smoothies, it sits on your stomach for a while. I guess because I don't really know. That may just be the fruit. But I noticed like smoothies, it sit on your stomach, but I think that's because there's a lot of elbows in it. Yeah. It just kind of sit a lot. I kind of stopped doing the smoothies. I just put it in like tea and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Well, I do the smoothies like I used to do like milk with it, or like coconut milk. Because I didn't really try to do the white milk or whatever, but now I just do straight water. Like I try to do alkaline water or like spring water. Just try to cut on the calories or whatever. Just a little. Then you just hear certain little stuff, but I'll throw like some strawberries, or like some pineapples or something. I might do a little bit of spinach and like some oats, and I'll do the moss and like. But moss is like a mild laxative. Usually I'll drink my smoothie in probably not even half an hour. I gotta go to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah, that Seamoss smooths you out. Like
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's a laxative. It's more like just because a laxative is like, damn, I gotta go.
Yeah, if I say it's a mild, like, it's a mild, real mild.
It's the magnesium in it.
Oh, the magnesium.
Mm-hmm.
And they say the fiber too helps it clean you out real good too.
Right?
Yeah. Plus it's like, not trying to be funny, but it's basically like lube for your intestines. Right?
Yeah.
Like
That's pretty much what it is. That's what it is.
It coats your stomach as well. It coats your stomach as well.
Real good.
Because I actually got a big job, man. I gotta finish taking it, which is disgusting, but I have to.
Yeah, man. Gotta get it in you, man. It ain't about what like I was saying when you go to the doctor give you some medicine. You ain't asking the doc, hey man, what it tastes like, man. Or you ain't gonna ask him nothing. You just gonna take it and you ain't gonna, you feel what I'm saying?
You're like, is that wild crafted? I need to make sure I get all the nutrients.
Is it off a rock? It's on a rock. Is it what flavor is it? Like, oh man, listen, man, this just know it's good for you. Eat it. Take 3 tablespoons every day.
Yeah.
2 to 3, you gonna be good, man. It's like people be crazy, man. It's like I don't. It's so crazy. It's like wow. It's like I don't know. And then growing up, I got on the Seamoss like 3-4 years ago. You know what I mean? So it's like it just happened. I was taking it for a while. And I'm just like, man, I really started selling it because I'm like, people gotta know about this. Like, you know what I mean? This kind of especially me getting up in age. So it's like, yo, no, this puts you back where you need to be at. And it's not so much what it is, just our diet is just something totally different. We're not getting these vitamins. Like I tell people, like different hair products, all they talk about is different vitamins, skincare, lotions. They all talk about 2 to 3 or 4 vitamins. It's nothing pretty much there is giving you 92 vitamins, you know what I mean, and minerals that you need. And then I was thinking about we were talking about earlier, like vitamins, and I don't really like to trust stuff that's made in factories, or because I don't really, you know what I mean. Who knows how much vitamins is even getting into that? Who says? You know what I mean? Like just how they play, they'll get you now for a couple of dollars, but they probably, they might give you an inkling of what you really expect it would be. So gotta be careful with that too.
Yeah, you gotta try to like find smaller companies that don't really worry about doing things in bigger batches, like mom and pops type thing. Like like people that have been doing it for a long time. That's more trustworthy. But yeah, like getting stuff from certain companies, it just be trash. Like a lot of tinctures in the store. A lot of tinctures, it be trash in the store. I'm like, man, Whole Food, damn, their whole brand of the tinctures is trash. I'm like, shit.
Yeah. But like it's so bad, it's to the point, it's like they trying to take us out, man. You know what I mean? They ain't trying to really give you nothing with no seeds in it. You know what I mean? You gotta, I guess, I try to hit like the local produce spots, even people selling out of truck, whatever, to get some good, fruit or whatever. It's hard, man. It's like, but that shit hard, man. It's crazy. Then that's a whole nother story, man. But it's like, yeah, man, it's wild. So it's like, I'd rather get mine from the earth. Let me get mine from the earth, or I can trust the earth. You know what I mean? So I trust that. They say, the man above, they say he left everything out here for us. It's already out here. So damn that. The people, they get it. They know ways how to get stuff, but then they step on it and they're not gonna give you the maximum because it's a business. They want you to come back.
How are they gonna make money?
And you know what I mean? So they make trillions of dollars off of people. So it ain't no It ain't really nothing to play about. It's really it's dog eat dog, man. When your mom tell you when you a kid, you like your family and your close ones gonna be when they're even this world is wicked. Like you know what I mean? So it's like you gotta take it. We got a few options out here. Take advantage of them. Why you got to shot at it?
Maximize it for sure.
Was you at home, Julian?
Yeah, yeah, I'm chilling at home.
Where your dog at?
Huh?
Where your dog?
No, I'm at the condo, so I'm not at the other home. I have multiple locations.
Oh man!
Whenever I need to hide out, I got a place to go.
Yeah, man. You gotta slide around, dude. Slide around.
Every man needs their own little independent pad or whatever. That's how I feel.
It's better, I guess, with the business, you gotta have, what I mean? Gotta handle stuff, gotta be focused while you're there, no distractions.
Mm-hmm. No. Well, that's the thing too. I kind of ended up moving out on my own because I found that living with my family and stuff, it was too distracting, and I wasn't the business wasn't getting the attention that it needed because I was not focused or just on other stuff that wasn't important. Not to say it wasn't important, but was distracting me from what's really important. And I realized that I can just focus on this stuff for now, and then when things are a little bit better, which they will be soon, I can take a step back. But at this point, it's almost like it needs my full attention. I have too much of a good opportunity here that I can't let slip away. Yeah, because I wasn't giving it the proper focus. I even think that for the last couple of years, me and my partner, we were discussing it. It's like we should be a lot further ahead than where we are. And when we ask ourselves why aren't we further ahead, it's us not taking things seriously and just maybe we're having too much fun, and that's okay. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather have.
You learn too, so
Mhm.
go about things different ways.
Hmm. But now we're at a point where we really should be I guess exercising our muscle or being confident in the position that we're in. You know what I mean? We should be investing in a lot more. The business should be fully kind of automated. We should have employees. You know what I mean? We should have more booking done, this, that. It's running like a business, but not like a business.
You gonna start selling gel? You gonna start selling gel wholesale?
Maybe. You know what I always said is if we were to start selling the gel, we'd do it, but we would have to do it based on my partner's traditional recipe. And so we wouldn't do the gel how everybody does the gel there. Here, we would do it in the Seamoss drinks, how he does it. And his drinks are awesome. They're good. And I mean, there's some of the best on the island. People love them. You know what I mean? His tamarind juice.
You definitely make a lot of. I've seen some people make a lot of money off them drinks and all that too. So it's definitely money with them drinks.
Yeah, but I think for us mostly, I would get more into the production business than I would get into the actual selling of the drink. So it's almost like I want to be the guy that you come to that makes your drinks for you. There's not enough of these processors in the Seamoss space that understand Seamoss and stuff and law. You can't really go anywhere in North America and get someone to make gummies for you easily and cheaply. Seamoss gummies. You generally have to go to China or outside of the country, from what I can see, right? But imagine you had a guy that not only understood Seamoss jelly, that making Seamoss gummies, but also had sourced to the best Seamoss and had like it's just like all you got to do is put in your order. I need 80 jars. You know what I mean? I need this. I need that. So that's where I kind of see our like official position or our future position is not so much capturing the sales, you know what I mean, competing with other people for sales, but being the support system to support them on their sales and being able to do it for everybody, you know?
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much making it being accessible when needed, or you know what I mean, just always being an avenue
Mm-hmm.
for the sales, like you know, included with the operation.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I'm about to probably get in the shower and everything, man. Keep me in tune with these, man.
Yeah,
I
man.
mean, love the whole Seamoss family. You know, definitely gonna stay tapped in, pushing out this good knowledge and good information.
All the time, bro. I always love talking to you, man. Chilling, even just on the regular
You already
phones
know,
and shit.
man. We definitely pushing the help, man. Pushing the hard.
Mm-hmm.
And we, you know what I mean? And we definitely want to do it as a team. If we gonna do it, why not?
Yeah. Well, you know, I've been talking about it, but I really got to pull the trigger. I think I'm really gonna set up like a mastermind group of like, and I'll start it where it's maybe open invitation, but I'm gonna go take everybody that I know that have spent, say, like more than like $1,000 at the business, and then kind of invite.
I got $1,000.
No, bro, you got VIP guest list. Don't worry. But you know what I mean? Invite people that are serious to say, okay, let's have a once every other week meeting where we talk about the industry and we talk about the knowledge, and you know, maybe I'll do some research and get some information. And honestly, if I get a big enough group, I can invite people. Like I know people in the St. Lucian Ministry of Agriculture where I could call, like I have their phone numbers where I could call them and say, hey, can you do a private talk with these sellers and have you answer questions about Seamoss and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And get in more into the knowledge of what's going around the world and what's happening. Like other companies are doing it. And the reality is we need to start learning more about the actual benefits in Seamoss beyond 92 minerals.
Outside of just the 92. Like 92.
What
are the 92 and what does the 92 do for your body? Like the break, like but it's, or give us a good, like you said, a good 5 or a good 10 or a good 15.
Yeah, you know what though? That gives me an idea. I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to create like a YouTube video saying what are the 92 minerals in Seamoss, and then one of the first things I'm going to say is there are no 92 minerals in Seamoss. But these are, you know what I mean? These are the minerals that are in Seamoss and why you should use them and how they affect your body and stuff like that. And go through, say the top 10 or 20, and start pushing.
You breaking up. I think you're breaking up.
Who, me?
Yeah, well, no, now you're not.
Okay, I gotta come closer to the screen. When I get closer, then they don't fuck around. I'm like, Instagram, don't fuck around. Yeah,
man. But nah, man, we definitely gonna stay tapped, bro. So
always.
Meet you tomorrow.
All right, cool. Hit me up.
All right, bless us, Kane. Be safe. Y'all be easy.
You too. Take care.
All right. Much love. Right. Much love. Much love, bro.
Yeah.
What are you saying, Yusuf?
Driving super slow out here.
Like an action making jokes on me because I got Scarborough internet because I'm in Scarborough. So in Toronto they have this suburb called Scarborough, and like no one wants to admit that they live in Scarborough.
Why?
Because it's not to say that it's a nice neighborhood. Like the East End to me is way better part of Toronto, but it just gets a bad rep in the news and all this stuff. Like I work in real estate, right? And I remember once these executives called me, these interns. They were coming from like Germany and they were working at the BMW plant as interns. And so the company was paying for their like their accommodation and stuff like that. And I remember I went to show them the places, and they asked me the neighborhoods, and I had mentioned Scarborough, and so they ghosted me, right? And I was like, what the hell? Like you know what I mean? I'm like, why do you guys ghost me? Like, if you don't want to see the place, just say you don't want to see the place, right? And then they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't want to see the place. I'm like, well, what was wrong with the? Because they picked out the place, right? So I'm like, what was wrong with the place? They said that when you mentioned that the place was in Scarborough, we have a brochure that was given to us by BMW that basically says, don't. Here's the places you can live, and here's the places you shouldn't live. And one of them was Scarborough on the list.
Oh, what's going on over there? Like,
Yeah.
It's a lot of crime.
There's some areas that have some high crime. They have some gangs there, and you know what I mean. There's shootings and shit like that. You know, there's one time where there was a big turf war, but it's like wherever there's like my ex-wife would say, wherever there's bad spots, there's good spots. Like you can't have a good neighborhood unless you're surrounded by bad neighborhood. But when I tell people, like when they ask me where I live, I'll say, "Oh, I live in the Guildwood," right? Which is a neighborhood in Scarborough, right? It's like a prestigious neighborhood, but I won't say Scarborough. Or I'll say, I grew up in this area called the Beaches, which is on the lakeshore, but now I live north of the Beaches, like it's in Scarborough, which is north of the beach. But I would tell them I live in North Beach, which is like a fictitious neighborhood. Like I just made it up. It's like the Beaches, North Beach. And they'd be like, North Beaches? And I'm like, yeah, you know where the bluffs are? We're just north of the bluffs. The Scarborough Bluffs? Oh, don't say Scarborough. Yeah.
No, that they go fussing on the mics.
What? What happened?
No, they was fussing on the radio. I heard the other truck driver talking on the radio.
Oh, they're talking shit. What time is it there? You do? Is it? I guess it's late to. It's better to drive late at night. You know what I mean? Because there's less traffic. Or
hell nah. Same amount. Going through the cities, yeah, it's probably less. Probably less traffic, but nah, it's probably the same amount because it's like it's a lot of trucks out here right now. But I don't like driving. I don't like driving at night overnight. I don't really like that. I like to, if it's at night, I like to stop at 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock at night or 8 o'clock. Like I don't really like to go beyond it, even though I'm going way beyond it now. And I went beyond it a lot of times. Like it was times when I stopped driving 7 o'clock in the morning. I drove overnight 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. I was finished. But I don't like doing that because I can't sleep once the sun come up. It's like, well, I'm up the whole day.
That's not good. Yeah. You don't get any proper rest, and then you're still tired, and that causes more accidents, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's what happened to me yesterday. The place was supposed to be, they were supposed to have my load done when I got there. When I came there, instead of me dropping an empty trailer, they had to load my trailer. I was like, well, that ain't what they told me. So some stuff just happens and it's irritating, but. Well, which that's my fault. I shouldn't have took this load. Which they kind of played me on this load, but I shouldn't have took it.
How so? How'd they play on the load?
And they was like, well, this is the only load that they have that's picking up today. And you might have to wait the next day. But they be lying. They say all type of stuff to make you think you have to do stuff. I had to drive 200 miles just to go pick the load up. I don't think that's right. Like, if I drive 200 miles, take me for those 200 miles before I go pick the load up. But they don't like to pay empty miles. You have to keep going back and forth arguing with them about that. But companies don't like to pay that. And it's like, nah, like you should pay me because I don't work like that. It's like I have to pay my own taxes and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I pay myself. So, you know, they like to try to get over, but that's every company. Everybody do the same messed up practices, and that's the thing I don't like about trucking.
Yeah.
Everybody do the same like messed up stuff.
Yeah, and it's almost like repeated. You always got to be like, oh, not this again. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, fuck the trucker life, I guess.
Lord, Lord. But yeah, my little setback, but I'm about to get back. About to get back straight because yeah, this have to be my last go around. Other than this truck right here. I mean, it's a brand new truck.
What?
This my last go around. Driving like this.
Oh, you joking?
Man, this shit is unhealthy.
Yeah, that's true. Always being in the truck and shit, it's not good for you.
Yeah, I came out here. I was 160, 168. I was out here a few months. I was like 220.
Oh, wow.
I was like, oh no, I couldn't fit none of my clothes.
Yeah, you almost like double in size, bro. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's because you're probably like living in the cab, not getting the proper exercise. You know?
Yeah, that's one thing I wanted to get this exercise machine up in. It's real small, but it has a lot of resistance to it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like $800.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, man, it's a lot. It's a lot, but I guess it would be worth it because you can do a lot of things with it. But I was like, man, that's a lot. But that's the only machine I know that's like that. I can fit up and it can fit in the backpack, and it's like resistance, but the resistance goes up to like 300 pounds.
Oh, wow.
It's a real good machine that you can bring everywhere with you.
Mm-hmm. It's like
you can fold it up, put it in a book sack, and go on about your way. But I'm going to eventually I'm going to get one, but not right now because it's just too much. Well, probably about next month I'll have one. So that's soon.
Nice. Nice. And then, yeah, you can keep yourself active on the go. I have to start going to the gym more. I have a membership, but I haven't been going like as much as I could be. I should be going like every day. Fuck. But you know what it is too?
I had a membership. I was using that. I was like, shit, they taking $60 a month. I'm about to use the machine like I live up in
here. Yeah. It's like none of that. None of that expense. I actually might be going down to St. Lucia soon because
St. Lucia.
Yeah, someone I know passed away, and so I might go to the funeral, just like show my support and stuff. Because this is a guy I've known for quite a while, and you know what I mean. It's sad what happened. His wife passed away from breast cancer. Yeah, and before she passed away, she lost all mobility in her body, her legs, so she couldn't walk. And then she was pregnant. She had a baby that she was having, and yeah, and so she ended up giving birth to the baby while she was still immobilized, and the baby lived for like a week, and then it passed away, and then yeah. And then, like, maybe less than a month. Oh, it's gotta be a month. Oh, crazy. Oh, sorry, I started talking and I lost track of what I was thinking because I just started thinking about her. She passed away this morning, or not yet. The yesterday morning. Yeah, cancer. She had the baby. The baby lasted a week and passed away. And then she still has another two older kids, and then she has like a 9-year-old or 5-year-old daughter.
So how old is she?
Like in her 30s, 35, 40 maybe.
Damn.
Yeah, she wasn't that old. Nice person, really kind-hearted. Bro, she was the one person that like opened up like my how do you say it? Like she opened up like a whole community with me. You know what I mean? Like I met a lot of
Yeah.
people in the CMOS industry because of her, and like her partner, husband or whatever, his name is Smile. He's a Francis, and in St. Lucia in the this neighborhood Prale or Pralin or Prale, I forget how to pronounce it, but the Francis are like they're like a big name in CMOS. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And so he, what was it? It was almost like God arranged this moment for us to meet because it was like one day me and Ashen were, I can't remember what we were doing. We were driving around somewhere and we just kind of like said, fuck it. Fuck the day. Fuck what we have to do. We're just going to go and drive around and check out Seamoss farms. Right. And just kind of like we did a lot of daydreaming that day, just like, oh, this, that. And so we went to this one Seamoss farm and this area in Prale, and like it didn't seem like anybody was there, right? So we were there talking, checking shit out, whatever, blah blah blah. And then maybe the next week we're like at this like roadside like eatery place that we're always eating at, right? Because he knew the girl that ran at Glenda, this place called Glenda's. And so Glenda's dad is named Mr. Smith, right? Who also happens to be like an old time farmer guy. Mr. Smith has a daughter who's Alana. Alana is, partnered, like, is married or partnered up with the guy Smile. So it was like we were sitting there chilling at this food eatery, and the guy Smile came up and started talking to us. And he knew who we were because the girl Alana had pointed him out and said, "I seen those guys on the beach with the Seamoss and stuff." Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so he came up and was like, "Hey, how you doing?" We started talking. We became friends and stuff like that. And so through him, you know what I mean, I met like Short Man and like, bro, there's like people. Here, I'll show you one of the guys that I met. Like, I'm talking, bro. Like, I know some guys that have been in like the CMOS industry forever.
Yeah.
Like this guy right here. Oh, hang on. Take that down. So this guy here in the screen, his name's Ainsley.
Yeah.
Right? They call him Short Man or Black Star. I think Short Man or something because he's a small guy. This guy is my pal, bro. Like, you know what I mean? When every time he sees me, he hails me up, "Hey, what's up, bro? What's up, partner?" And we'll sit and talk to me like about CMOS for like ever. Talk about like the old days in CMOS, and you know what I mean? And so it's like when you're in a community and like this guy who's like a legend in CMOS comes up and it's like, "Yes, my boy, wow." You know what I mean? And he's hailing you up. It's like everybody says, "Oh, fuck." You know? Who's this guy kind of thing. But you want to hear the joke though? Do you know that they all think I'm white down there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm
All the time. They all think I'm white, and then so me and my partner, we have a legitimate partnership, 50-50 partnership. Like he gets everything I make. They will refer to him as if he's my employee. to his face.
Oh,
So they're like, hey, where's your boss? Hey, how's working for your boss? And and he's like, my boss? And he's like, yeah, that white guy. And can't white guy. He's like, what the fuck?
I mean, they saw you before, right?
Yeah. Oh no, they all know me. They all know who I am. You know what I mean? I'm the white guy from Canada in the Seamoss. Like, I shit you not. That's how I'm referred to. They know me as Julien, the white guy, the white boy from Canada.
Oh man,
Yeah, it's funny. It is what it is, you know. But so yeah, I think I might go back down there soon to 10. I'll see when this funeral happens. Although I feel like fuck, I don't know. It's like I don't even think he has the money for the funeral.
dang.
Yeah, man, bro, it's tough. And like these Seamoss farmers, like they've been taking it hard. Like they haven't been making any money. Do you know what I mean? Because like the Seamoss has been so cheap and not enough people are buying it, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I'm all for like the price going up, you know? Because to me it's like it's gonna trickle down to so what's gonna happen in my view is as long as it's done right, is that if the price goes up, then people are gonna care more about the Seamoss and the quality and the appearance is gonna get better.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm. Which will help everybody on overall. Hmm. But
That definitely help. I don't know where I'm at right now. Good grief.
huh?
I said I have no idea where I'm at. I mean, I know where I'm at, but I don't know what part.
Doesn't the GPS tell you like how far you gotta go and stuff?
Yeah, I'm only 33 miles away.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's nothing.
Trying to figure out what truck stop that I passed through. Okay, let's see. I definitely don't want to go there.
What? You don't want to go where?
That truck stop, I don't like stopping at certain truck stops. It's like in certain places.
Yeah.
I ain't stopping.
Sketchy.
Yeah, like some truck stop I'm not stopping at. I'm like, yeah, something happened out here. Ain't nobody coming.
Yeah. And what do they call the girls? Lizard girls or whatever?
Lot lizards and
Lot lizards.
yeah, lot lizards.
Oh shit.
My brother say lot lizards, scallywags, itch bitches, and what did he say? Banshees.
Banshees. That's crazy, banshees. Oh shit. Mm. What a day. I know. Night, Julien. So yeah, you said I think I'm gonna call it a night just because it's like it's bad. I have the worst habit of sleeping. Dude, I've been watching some old footage of stuff that I've recorded, so I have some live streams. And it's like so many of these live streams, I'm like
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and it's like at the time when I did it, I didn't realize I had fallen asleep, and it was like, and I'm like, oh yeah, hey. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might have stopped in like 30 minutes. I'll holler back at you whenever you get on live again.
Yeah, for sure. I could try and do it tomorrow.
Okay, you have any new herbs?
I know I have I think mango leaves or something, but like send me a new list of herbs that you want because what we're doing now, we've sourced out some land in St. Lucia, and we have someone growing our herbs for us.
So you have did you put the Did you put that on your website?
The Bob one day? No.
Yeah.
I gotta get more
Yeah.
Bob one day.
You gotta get some more.
I ran out of it.
Oh, okay. And you still gonna do the cola nut?
I have the cola nut. You know what I gotta do? I gotta sit down and get some packaging. Maybe I'll do that this week because I have all these powders, cola nuts, herbs, and stuff, and I just don't have the right packaging to package them up then to resell them. And so I gotta do that and then figure out what people are selling it for. And then I just gotta throw it on the site. I should have all these products because we have access to it. You know, that cola nut stuff is good too.
You took it before?
Yeah. I was making like a coffee out of it.
Okay. Yeah, I might. Yeah, I definitely want some of that because I want some. I want to make some stuff with it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just yeah, I guess I'll holler back at y'all. After you get back on, but I definitely want the other herb too, that bark. I definitely want some of that.
The Bob one day.
Yeah, you owe that smoke of them trees, yo.
The mahogany wood. The hardwood, that's what it translates to. Bob one day is hardwood. And bro, it works good, man. Like works good.
Yeah, 'cause I wanna put in some rum or some vodka.
Mm-hmm.
Like
You have to do it like a tincture or whatever. They have that down in St. Lucia a lot. Is the spice rum.
Spice rum?
Yeah. Oh, bro, it's killer. But it's got all the herbs and shit in it. And I remember when we were in St. Lucia, we stopped off the side of the road. My buddy knew the guy he was like a spice rum bar or whatever, like on the side of the road. He had all these jugs. He must have had like maybe about 50. He had every single spice rum. Like he had cherry spice rum. He had tamarind spice rum. He had soursop spice rum. He had like mango flavored spice rum. He even had weed spice rum. Yeah, it had all these weed plants in it and shit like that. The big weed flower on it. I was like, holy fuck, this guy's got everything. You know? Mm-hmm. But all right.
Man, I ain't gonna keep you because around talking too much.
Yeah, I gotta get going. I gotta get up early in the morning.
Oh yeah, me too. Well, I ain't gonna go to sleep. I get back 5. All right.
All right, it was good talking to you, and yeah, I'll probably try and come back on again next week or in a couple of days. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
All right, and with that, thank you everybody for watching, and don't forget to take your Seamoss. I'll see you later. I'm gonna get some rest. Good night.
All right.
Night. Night. Oh. Share this video. Let's talk about Seamoss with Julien and friends. And with that, thanks for watching, guys, and don't forget to take